So hello everybody. Sorry, just trying to get a mouthful of something. So I do apologize for the very late, slightly late start. Sorry, I meant to say. I was doing a cricket course and it did run over. In fact, I actually come out a little bit early. Anyway, so as always, I'm trying to teach a newbie how to make models. So here's Tasha. Hello. How are you?
I'm all right.
So are you still basking in the glory of finishing that tank?
Yeah, it's over there with my red one.
You like that,
next
don't
to
you?
it.
You like both of those,
my
don't
corner's
you?
like turning into a model.
It's good. It's good. It's good. So we have got a brand new model for you guys today. And I've just put it down somewhere and I don't know where it's gone. I had it. Here it is. So are you ready? 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! So this is what we're working on today. It's the North American Mustang Mark IV. It's going to be in RAF colors from 112 Squadron in Italy, 1945. Now, question for you. At this point on the tank build, how were you feeling?
Nervous and scared, but that's to be expected.
10 out of 10 on the nervous scale?
5, 6.
5, 6. How are you feeling now?
I am pooing myself with this one.
Why are you pooing yourself?
Because if it's all that wiggly line stuff, I'm going to get
confused. We take things one step at a time.
Yeah, I know.
You don't look at stage 2 until you've done stage 1. And Airfix, dealt with Airfix instructions twice. You know how they're going to come across. What's to worry about? Chill, relax. It's going to be all right. It's going to be fine. So this is, I can't tell you much about it, apart from it's a Boeing officially licensed product, because it says so on the packet, on the silver sticker. So this is the same kind of kit that we did last time, which is that you get a kit, you get a brush, you get 4 pots of paint. Now, we can pretty much guarantee that one of those pots of paint will be black. So you could get anything up to, with I think it's 4 pots in here. Yeah, there is black. It says on the back. Number 30, which is a green. So that will give you a different color green, because the green we had before was a green but wasn't 30. 64, which is a gray, and 106, which is a darker gray. I could look up the exact names if you really wanted, but do we need to? No. So you combine that with the black, the gunmetal gray, and the green that you got with the tank, you now have 6 paints.
Yeah.
So this will be quite a basic model because it's designed for, well, I think, is there a difference between a gift set and a starter set? What is the difference? They're basically the same, but one hangs, one doesn't. I always thought the starter sets were the hangers, but maybe the starter set is, I don't know. Anyway, so they're designed to be quite basic. They're designed as an introduction into the model. You've got more cardboard on this, which means you've got more glue and palette to play with.
Oh, great.
So shall we open the box?
Yeah, because I ain't opened one.
All right then.
I just
So
left
we
it.
have
And
got. Let's go camera down.
hang on then. I've got
When I
multitask
said let's
mine.
go camera down, I meant I'll go camera down. You don't have to. So you will recognize these contents at a basic level.
Mm-hmm.
You have got a paintbrush. So now you have two number 2 paintbrushes.
Yep.
Okay. You have got a bag of paints and a bag of cement.
Yep.
So do you remember you said that your lid had glued on?
Yeah,
solid?
I can't get into that.
You can get into this one then, can't you?
Yeah.
So we've got our black, a light grey, a dark grey. Oh, I may actually have my first paint that's unusable. Looking at that. If I have got an unusable paint, I'm just going to go with a different colour. We'll just pretend that mine's usable. But we'll see. No, I think I might be able to use that. Oh, I might have got lucky again. So that's another black that looks. My theory is, if it comes like that, that's the first generation paints. Sorry, in case you couldn't tell, I got comes with this little hinge on it. I think they're second generation paints. Apparently, they are phasing the second gen into the starter sets. Right, the third thing you've got is a bag of sprues, and my God, is that blue? That's so much bluer than the tank. Well, it would be a different color, but that's very blue, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks blue to me.
Yeah, it's ultraviolet blue, I think. We get some instructions, which we also get some decals. So as you'll see, these probably won't scare you so much because there's only 2 tiny ones.
Yeah.
But you already know, you've already done tiny ones, so it's not a problem. I can see that there is a instrument panel. So that's a nice little touch. So obviously when we do the instrument panel, we'll pop that on and that'll be a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
And we have an instruction sheet, which you will recognize the format. It's very Airfixy.
Right.
Okay, so this looks very similar to the last kit you did, didn't it?
Yeah.
So if I just show you, for example, my Lancaster, which is Hong Kong, it's completely different. That's not Airfix, is it?
No.
Okay, not saying that one is easier than the other. It's just that Airfix has their style. This one is black and white. That might look confusing, but what you need to remember is that's one stage. That's one stage. Yeah. So all they've done is they've just put a lot of stages onto one page, which kind of fits with the idea of keeping the cost low. Okay. Normal warnings. And obviously, because this is designed for young people, what you have to do is you have this box here. You have to record the telephone number of your local hospital or local poison center in the box below, just in case your mum comes in and finds you passed out from the fumes of the paint.
Yeah.
Or something. So we've got, I'm just going to whiz over this because we did this before. We've got various languages of things. There's what we want. So it tells you a little bit about the North American P-51 Mustang, when it was first designated to an RAF regiment. Some specs: maximum speed, range, wingspan, length, and the armament. Warning: not suitable for children under 8 years. So for the purposes of this video, we're recommending 14 years. Assembly instructions: study drawings and practice assembly before cementing, or in other words, read the instructions and dry fit. Yep. Because we've got a lot of golden rules, haven't we? Rule number 1. First rule, do this. First rule, do something else. Advice for supervising adults, which I think is a good touch. The chemical toy. This chemical toy is not suitable for children under 8. for use under adult supervision. Keep this chemical toy set out of reach of children under 8. Why has it said that twice? It just worded differently. Because children's abilities vary so much, even within age groups, supervising adults should exercise discretion as to which activities are suitable and safe for them, blah, blah, blah. So, same as before, we've got the parts call out. So we've got in the corner is the stage number. So we go one all the way through to 22. We have, why is 1D in black? Is that a clear part?
I have no idea.
I think it might be a clear part. Yeah, I think that's a clear part. Let me check. They do have a little guide with symbols. Yeah, there we go. So if it's in a white circle, it tells you to cement. It's actually a part number. And if it's in black, it's the crystal part. So if you ever do come across a symbol you don't know, just have a look at the front. It tells you all here. There's going to be a couple of things that you haven't come across before. And that is this one here. Question mark. And you've got 2 drawings. And what that is telling you is to choose an option. Right. So in this particular case, you can have the flaps up or the flaps down. Probably be a week or 2 before we reach that stage. There's another option there. You can have the wheels up or the wheels down. And I think that's it for options. There we go. There's another option. There's 2 more options. You can have the canopy open or the canopy closed. If you're anything like me, you'll choose to have the canopy open, but if you mess the canopy cockpit up, you'll go, oh, I'll just close the canopy, and then you've got the option to do the pilot, which is, let me check the colors of that. Oh, that's good. Yeah, they are suggesting painting him in the colors that you have supplied. Everybody clear and understanding? Right, chat. Athol says, good evening, my lord Peter Webster and Penny plus Tasha. If about, I'm feeling better than last night. Were you not feeling well last night, Tasha?
No, I wasn't well last night.
Oh, bless you.
I haven't been well a couple of days, but I'm okay.
Okay. Well, if you do want to stop the stream because you're not feeling well, just say, and I don't think anyone will hold that against you.
Okay.
Except me, I will. No, you know I won't. Smith B says, hi, Pen, Natasha. Penny, sorry. That's all right, Pen will do. Late start equals 1 hour on the end. Probably will be anyway. You know us.
No, I don't think it will.
This is why I always plan to make my streams 5 minutes. And then that way 3 hours seems a long time. Teresa Smith says, hi all, Penny and Tash. Teresa then says, watch out dropping bits on the floor, Tash. You know the carpet monster will have them.
More than likely drop on the carpet. But
no pressure at all, Tasha, but if you lose just one tiny bit, that's the whole model ruined.
Oh, God.
Not really, that was a joke. So Dominique says, evening. Teresa says, hi, Dominique. And that is the chat caught up with for now.
Did you want to, normally you put a link in for someone joining. Do you want anyone joining?
Want anyone to join?
Someone might want to join, I don't know.
Let's pop the link in then. If anyone wants to join
You did it last time, didn't you?
I know. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't.
I just thought I'd ask.
Sometimes I want a nice quiet stream. Sometimes I want.
You have to let me know. I don't.
Right. Message has been pinned. If anyone wishes to join us, the link is in the description. And Smith Bees is saying hi, Dominique. And Smith Bees is saying hi. No, Dominique's saying hi, Smith Bees. Right. So this is going to change the order a little bit of how we've done it. The most common way to start an aeroplane is in the cockpit, but not always. Sometimes they'll start somewhere else. engines might be sometimes a starting point. But in this particular case, we have got the cockpit. So I'm going to just sort of take you forward a little step. What we've done before is we've done step 1.
Yeah.
Then we've moved on to step 2. And then we've moved on to step 3.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Now, because we did the tank last time, we didn't do any painting until we were finished, because we thought, well, we don't need to. It's all going to be the same color.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to suggest that we look at the parts before. So stage 1, let me just bring this in so everyone else can follow along. I've got a good camera. Might as well try and use it. Right. So step 1, we have piece 13B, which will be painted black. Then we will apply a decal, and then we'll pop a clear piece over the top.
Right.
Now, obviously, we're going to have to paint before we put the decal on. We're going to have to let the paint dry before we put that decal on. So we probably won't be able to get that decal on today because of the paint. Now, stage 2, we are doing this floor piece, and we're going to paint the majority of it 30, which is the dark grey. No, it's not. Why have I got paint 106? It's green. It's green. So we've got green for the floor. Then we're going to pick out some details in 33, which is something that I cleverly helped you to avoid in the last one, because you were supposed to pick out those details on the tank, weren't you? But I thought we'll save that, but we can't get away from it this time. Then we've got to glue in the joystick, which they haven't told us which color to paint it. So what I would normally do, if I don't know what color to paint it, I would paint it the same color as the floor, and then I'll paint the top black.
Right.
You could, if you really wanted to, that little bulgy bit at the bottom, that'll usually be a piece of rubber or a piece of leather. So I might perhaps do it brown, but you haven't got a brown. So, you know, so it's up to you. We can do it the same color as the, or we could do it black. And then what we'll do is we'll pop in piece from, see this triangle there? It means that we've done in stage number 1. So what I would suggest we would do today, if we did this piece first, we'll then paint black, then we'll paint 30, then we'll go back and do our black. Now, remember what I said about the light color over a dark color and the dark color over a light color?
Yes.
So black, there is nothing darker than black, is there?
No.
So that black, we're going to look at painting that last. So by that logic, am I confusing you? Do you want me to slow down?
I'm confused, but I'm all right, because it'll be step by step as we build it. So
what we want to perhaps look at doing is paint all of this floor first.
Right.
And then when we do number 30, that piece there, black, then do this one. And that way we're doing one session of green, one session of black.
Right.
Now you could get really advanced and you could look through the whole manual and pick out all of the pieces that we're doing black, but we'll keep it simple. You may want to bring in stage 3 as well, because look, the majority of that is going to be green as well.
Right.
So let's get a little bit advanced and let's take off the pieces that we want for stages 1, 2, and 3, except for the clear piece. Right. Because that clear piece could get lost and we may not even probably won't even get to it today. So basically we're picking off the pieces that we want today. So what I would do, if you had some kind of pot or small matchboxes or something like that, any small container, what you could do is cut this piece off, pop it into a box, cut these pieces off, put them into another one, and then cut this piece off and put them in, or you can just lay them on your table. It's up to you how we do. Do you guys want us to look at the sprues? Or do you want to? I've just called you Teresa. I keep doing that, don't I? Mind you, there's worse things we could call you, isn't there?
Yep, I've been called majority of them.
Yes.
Probably have.
So while Natasha does that, I'll do the sprue tour then. So something that I'm becoming quite accustomed with Airfix, that detail is actually very nice. Look at that, nice crisp lines. I have a bit of a defect in that it's come off the sprue there, it's snapped, but it hasn't taken any of the fuselage away with it. So that's actually not too bad. Detail, the amount of pieces are kept to a minimum, but actually it's not reduced what you get as a kit. There will be pieces left over because we've got options, but that's okay. And it looks like it's, you know, we've got one big lower wing and two pieces of upper wing. You see there's a little framework going around here. If this was not a starter set, I would be expecting to be building that up. So this wing might be two pieces, and that's the difference between the gift starter sets and the normal kits, really. Apart from that, detail's lovely. I think we'll enjoy working with this. I don't know whether to call. To be honest with you, the pilots not awful. I don't think much of 72 scale pilots generally because they're too small to get those details in.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I've seen some 48 scale pilots, which, remember, 48 is bigger than 72. Sorry, 48 is smaller than 72, which means it's a bigger scale.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
So this is 72 scale. So if you built 72 of these kits and sat them side by side, they would be the exact same width as a Curtis Tomahawk 2B. If this was 48 scale and you bought 48 kits, then they'd be the same width. If that makes sense. So 48 scale is bigger, almost double the size. And I have seen pilots in 48 scale that are a lot worse than that. I would say that's rather nice. Right, so let's do some chopping. Oh, we've got some clear parts as well. Of course, I've
left them in the packet, mine.
Yeah, leave them in the packet. Because the piece that we're dealing with, piece 1D, is there where the end of my knife blade is. So I think if we cut that off and then just have it floating around the desk for 2 weeks, I think that's just tempting fate. Right, so while you start chopping those off, so you're going to need to chop off 13B. So that's piece number 13 on sprue B. So all of these sprues will be labeled. There we go. This is sprue A. And this one doesn't have the sprue map on it like the others have. But this is sprue A. And this is sprue B. So piece 13B is here. And and then you also want 1A from sprue A and 23A, and that will be slightly fiddly because that's a joystick. There it is there. So there is a possibility that the Carpet Monster could get that. And then after you've lost your piece, I'll show you how to minimize losses. Just joking. And then there is piece 10A, and they're the 4 pieces that you're going to need for the first 3 stages. So while you are doing that, I will do a catch up with the chat. And I do like your camera angle today.
Do you?
Yeah, it looks quite nice. I mean, the problem is, if you're sitting at home building your Jet Provost or something, you know, you can be sitting like this or however you want to sit, and everything's fine. When you're on camera, then obviously you want to try and get an angle so that people can see you, but you also can still work. And that's sometimes difficult. Now, you are compromising on the angle. When your left hand comes up, you're going to block the view a bit. But generally, I think we can see your workspace generally better than when the camera's looking at your face. So anyway, chop chop, quite literally, and I will read the chat out. So I'm being a bit harsh today, aren't I?
What's 1D?
So 1D is the clear piece, which we're not going to do today.
Oh, okay.
It's we've got to paint a piece, then we've got to put a decal on, then we put the clear piece on. Now we need to let the paint set cure before we put the decal on. Then we've got to let the decal cure. So we're probably not going to do that until sensibly third stream.
Right. Okay.
So we can't wait that long because the next stream will be closing up the cockpit. So anyway, so Smith Speed says hi, Dominic. Dominic says hi, Smith Speed. Little history, how are you? He says
Hello.
Wayne Welly says hi all. Little history says hi to everybody he can think of. Wayne Welly says hi Terry, hi Terry. Smith Speed says hi Little History. Wayne Welly. Hi Smiths and Teresa. And then Wayne Welly says, Penny, are you streaming in glorious 1080p? I am not going to say that because I think Terry has said that so often. I think it's probably copyrighted by default. So I think I have no right to use it now. Right. So when we are cleaning up, remember what we mean by clean up?
Yeah.
Right.
Get that.
So we're going to cut the piece off. Now, I have actually been practicing the cutting the piece off quite long. Now, this is a bit of an awkward one. Let me try and do a zoom. Have you cut this first piece off yet?
Yes.
So be very careful.
The first time I've used these.
Good. So just there's a little tab on the end. Don't cut that tab off.
No.
You didn't cut the tab off, did you? So if you cut, it's not the end of the world. If you do cut that tab off, when we come to do this piece and we glue this in, that tab is going to go inside that pre-drilled hole. I don't
think I have.
Right. If you have cut the tab off, then you're just going to have to position it, and it won't fit exactly. It won't guide itself in. Okay, so yeah, what I've been practicing doing, which I haven't been doing on this kit, and I'll show you on the seat 10A. So I've been doing some work on my Lancaster, and I've been practicing on that, purposely cutting the sprue nubs long and then trimming them once they're off. And it's a technique that I'm not used to doing. Sorry for using a big old Stanley knife. I can't find my craft knife. Oh, I've got a cat by my... Cats have been sleeping in the hall, in the living room all day. Absolutely fine. Didn't want to know me. Second I start streaming, here they are. Do you by any chance have any blue tack?
No.
Okay. So I'm going to teach you to steal coffee stirrers from McDonald's.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, from famous fast food stores. I haven't got any blue tack either. It's just going to make your life slightly easier. Sorry, guys, bear with me. I'm going to take my jumper off. Who was that bundle of loveliness by my... Oh, it's Spirit. You're not normally the first one in. It's usually Shadow followed by you. How are you, my lovely? They took them to the vets yesterday and they had their claws trimmed. And they were absolutely wonderfully behaved. Apart from trying to get Shadow into the cat carrier, which he didn't want to happen. But we did have to make it happen. and he wasn't happy about it, and he was in a huff with me for ages until I gave him a few treats, and he's lost weight, guys. I'm so happy. Not a lot, but he's lost just a tiny bit of weight. I think he's lost about ½ kilo. But I was saying to the vet, can you still hear me, by the way? Because I noticed my USB plug is falling out.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was saying to the vets, I said, I know he's overweight. He's not massively overweight, but he just keeps putting on weight. And I said, I've got to the point where if he doesn't put on any weight and he's still overweight, I'll take that, because at least it's not getting worse. And she weighed him, and she said he's lost about ½ kilo. I said, I'm happy with that. Spirity cat. I don't want to call her because she'll jump up on the table. At the moment, she's quite happy rubbing her face against my toes. Why anyone would want to do that, I do not know. Oh, that's nearly unusable, guys. Look.
Wow.
Definitely recoverable. So, Wayne Welly says, hi, Dom. Hi, Welly. Wayne Welly. Sometimes it looks like standard definition 48 Ti 570. That's a funny definition, isn't it? Oh, hello. Decided to join us now. Wayne says, oh, it's a running joke we make about Little History Smith Speeds. Yeah, if you ever watch it, well, I know you do watch Little History streams, but he does have does have a habit of saying, coming to you in glorious 1080p. Okay, how are you getting on with that cleanup?
Just
time
getting
for me to
these little tabs off.
Yeah, still time for me to stuff my. Are you pulling out my cable, Missy? There's no point begging. You're not getting anything because you got fed this morning. I don't understand why Shadow is so desperate for breakfast. He absolutely hassles me for breakfast. She doesn't care. It's just like, yeah, whenever I get it.
Yeah.
Shadow's absolutely begging me. I put breakfast down. He takes one sniff at it and walks off. And she's like, yum, yum, licky lick. Thank you very much. Oh, wet cat food. Thank you very much. Oh, Shadow, you're not going to eat your breakfast? Well, I'll have it then. So she benefits more, but she doesn't really care so much. Oh, that's a very loud purr today. But I am going to put you back on the floor in a minute. I've got out of the habit of saying I'm going to put you down, meaning I'm going to put her off the table.
All right, why?
Or the thing is, if I say I'm going to put you down, that makes it sound like I'm going to euthanize her, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Missy, when I put you on the floor, it's not an exercise regime. Just jump up again. No. Later. Right. Smiling joke, smiley. Right. Octals Modeling says, hi, how are you, Penny, panel, and chat? We're all good. I don't know if Natasha is faking goodness or if she is full of goodness.
I'm good. Better
I'd say that's at least 80% genuine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than have been the last few days.
That's good. On the up is better than down. So Wayne Welly says, hi, Octal. Smith B says, yes, watched Little History the other day. And 10 Oh, I see. So I stop you jumping up one side, so you jump up the other instead. Yes, watched Little History the other day, and 1080p was the most said words. Think it out, did Christ, and that's what she said line. Oh, do you know what? I'm not missing hearing. That's what she said.
No, I'm not.
No. Octal's Modeling Kit says, hi, Wayne. And Little History says, lol. Right. Are you going to get down, please? Because we are doing very important modeling work here.
Wow, that's tiny.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, that's hard to get you to
But as I found out with the
tidy
one,
it up.
what I found out with the 1 to 32 scale, and I'll give you an idea of the difference between this and 32 scale. This is the seat for the Mustang that we're doing right now. And this is the seat for the third. Oops, that just fell out. It's because
I ain't got the seat out yet because I couldn't understand
Right,
that
but
part.
I'm just showing you an idea of the size without
Yeah.
getting headbutted too much by Spirit. And that's the seat for the Lancaster.
Bloody hell.
So you would think that the Lancaster would be easier because the parts are larger, but in reality, it just enables them to put more small fiddly parts in. Oh, please, Missy, I'm going to break my Lancaster if you keep pushing into me like that.
NA.
Oh, I can't cope. I cannot cope under these conditions, Missy. She's a little bit premature for the joining the stream. As you can see, you have one notification. Oh, I was reading that. I was reading your watch and it switched off. That's not fair. Come on. Oh, you know me. If I ever look at anyone on stream, I'm not looking at them. I'm looking at the background. Oh, I like your book collection, and oh, I like all your models or whatever they've got in the background.
Oh, I've got a big book collection, man. You never see them. They're right behind me near my TV.
Do you let your budgies fly around your house?
Yes.
Maybe we could have a stream one day when they're flying around.
The only two I can't let out is Bonnie and Mickey.
Did I tell you about my cats the other day talking about going out?
No.
So Tuesday night, I got me bin in because Tuesday's bin day.
Yeah.
And then I sat down and I did some filming, and I don't know how long I was, an hour, maybe 2 hours. You know, when you're having fun, the time flies, doesn't it?
Yep.
All of a sudden, the cats bolted from the front door, past my craft room door into the living room. And I went, what the bloody hell's going on there? Went to go after them. I'd only left the front door wide open.
Oh no.
Yeah. No, luckily I'm in a flat block. But I felt them. Both their furs were cold, like they'd been outside. It is cold out in the flat block. So I reckon they'd slowly gone out, cautiously done a bit of exploring.
Yeah.
And then something spooked them, and then they ran in where they knew it was safe. But thankfully, the front door wasn't open. You know, the communal door.
Yeah.
But what was funny was my neighbour said the next day, she said, "Are you all right? Are the cat's all right?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't know if I'd heard him like in the bar because I don't let them go in the bathroom, and there's one cupboard in the living room I don't let them in because they've got some holes there, and they're big enough for cats, and I don't know where. It's like pipe work, and I don't know where it goes to. It could, for all I know, if they follow it down, could they end up in my neighbour downstairs' house?" She said, "I don't know if I thought I could hear them on the same level." And I told them about them getting out, and she went, "Oh, I must have heard them at the front door then. So they must have gone down a couple of levels." So yeah, they had a nice adventure. So in the past few weeks, Shadow's been shut in the cupboard and gone outside. How are you getting on, Tash?
I've got 4 pieces out. I don't know if it's that many.
That should be all of them. Oh, I haven't got me. Excuse me.
I've got the tiniest piece ever.
So how'd you get on with that little joystick?
Joystick, I ain't even got that out yet.
Have you not? So what 4 pieces have you got out then?
I have no idea.
Did you get the clear piece off?
No.
Okay, so you should have something that looks like that for stage 1.
Yes, that one.
For stage 2, you should have something that looks like that.
That one.
Which you said you haven't got the joystick out yet.
No.
For stage 3, you should have something that looks like that.
Yes.
So what's your 4th piece that you've got?
A really tiny little piece. I don't know if I pulled the right one out.
Okay.
that tiny. It's
Is it
right
clear?
tiny.
Is it clear?
No,
Oh, that looks like.
I have no idea. I just didn't
Did
quite
it
work
fall
out.
off the screw? That looks like it's got something to do with the engine air intake to me.
So shouldn't have had it out then.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's actually part of stage 7.
Oh
So
well, I'll put it in the tub then.
yeah, pop it back in. It looks like it was, like my fuselage, one of the sprue nubs had come loose.
Yeah,
So
that's what
that'll
done.
happen. Oh, I missed a lot of chat. So Smith B says hi Octal, and Phil says hi Penny, and panel big thumbs up. Little History says laters all, have a great stream. You take care. Are you still off work, Little History? What is it tomorrow? Friday's payday tomorrow. Yeah, hey. Wayne Welly says bye Terry. Teresa says bye Terry, take care. Smith Speed says Little History going so soon Terry, bye. I'm going to tell you later on about all the money I've spent today. This Lancaster project that I'm trying to do to save money. I just can't stop spending money on it. But I've got some nice things. Oh dear, I don't know what's the matter with me. I feel like I've got a bit of hay fever now. Maybe the cat's fur is a bit dusty. Right, so yeah, we just need to get that joystick. For some reason, I can't find the sprues. 23A. Now, as you haven't cut yours off yet, this is how I would recommend you cut it. You see it's there. Ah, you've cut the piece opposite off.
Yes.
Right.
And I can't find the joystick at all on 23A.
Next. So you can see where that piece isn't.
Yeah.
Right. So if you see where the fuselage is, the body.
Natasha? Yeah.
Right. Go right to the nose as far as you can. And then go 2 pieces across. 1, 2. And I would cut that quite long. So I'm cutting mine like that. So I'm actually cutting where the number tab is. And as I do the final cut, I'm just going to cover it with my fingers. Cut. And then I'm going to controllably let go. And there it is on the instructions. And then I'm going to carefully cut around it. So I think I'm going to cut the base of the joystick off first. There we go. And then I think I'll chance it. I'll hold the base of the joystick and I'll just try and come in and trim that off. There we go. Now it's a little bit rough, but do you know what? At the level we're aiming at today, I'm not going to really bother with it. I'll try and get a sanding stick in, but I don't think that'll be successful. So look, I'm not going to bother. I'll keep that rough, unless I'm entering that for a big national competition. I think that's good enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's eventually, I'm going to put that there. In fact, I'm going to get a piece of white card, and I'm going to put it on the card, and it's easier to spot then. So there's my clear pieces. So there's my piece for part 1. Oops, you can't see it because it's too far up.
I snapped mine.
Okay, I had a feeling you would.
Yeah, snapped
now,
it.
I'm going to be honest with you. Well, don't worry about it. You won't even see it when the canopy's on anyway. I mean, I tend to have a bit of a viewpoint. Let's try to make it perfect, even if you won't see it. And every bit that you do is a bit of practice. But honestly, it's not going to ruin. It's not going to ruin the model. And if you put the cockpit in, you wouldn't even see it anyway.
No, snapped it.
Yeah, nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about.
Sorry.
So, no, it's okay. So, I was starting to think, I mean, is your eyesight perfect?
Not when it comes to small, really tiny pieces.
So it sounds to me like we might be perhaps starting to veer towards larger kits, because maybe the 1-72, and this is the joy of doing the cheap kits. It's all exploring.
Yeah.
So you lost a small piece on the tank. That was 1-72 scale. You've lost a small piece on this, which is still 1 to. So maybe the common denominator there is that maybe 1-72 is a bit small for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we'll still carry on doing them because I know you've got a load of them to do. But that seems to be something common between the two. Sorry, just bear with me a sec. I blew my nose and I seem to have blocked ears now.
All right.
That's better. If I ever get blocked ears and blow on my nose, I just I push my nostrils together and blow out as hard as I can, and it kind of Wayne Welly says, or you need the magnifier glasses. That's another one as well. But I would suggest if you're cutting them with side cutters, I mean the width of the side cutters is about as big as the joystick.
I use the pen.
Right. Okay.
Well, the little knife.
Yeah, but that's okay. You've broken an insignificant bit. Right. So this needs to be done in black. This needs to be done in green with the black bits on the top. And this piece needs to be done green with black detailing. And that's going to be fun. So I'm suggesting we crack the black out, which is this number 30. So open it up, see how good it is. As you can see, mine is very, very thick, but it's not a solid lump. So, and we're basically just going to put it together, recover it the same way as you would if you were cooking a white sauce. Just putting a little bit of thinner, mix it in till it's nice and smooth. Then add just a couple of drops more, mix that in, and just keep adding a little bit.
Mine's quite thick.
Okay. So get yourself a cocktail stick.
Yeah, that's what I've got now. I thought I'd get them out in case I needed them.
Yeah. Now you need some way of dropping water in, which you don't actually have, do you? Or do you?
No, I don't.
Right. So if you had something like that, which I can send you some, because I did ask Peter for, well, so Peter sent me these wonderful bottles, a couple of the bottles, and they are absolutely fantastic. And they look something like this, and they are absolutely wonderful. I said, Peter, those bottles are fantastic. Could you tell me where you got them from? And a few days later, this came through the post.
Okay.
Lots of them, 30 of them. And I'm like, no, I wanted to get my own. So I don't know whether to use. Right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit, guys. I'm going to use my own thinners rather than water, because it's just slightly easier to work with than water. So if you know we said before, when you add water, if you add a bit too much, it starts to split.
Yeah.
Remember when I said that?
Yes.
So I find my thinner, because it's a little bit more alcohol based, it's just a little bit better. But water is absolutely fine. And guys, if you I make this is as good as Tamiya thinners, but this is about 40-50 pence a bottle equivalent. It is expensive to make your first batch, because you've got to buy a load of alcohol, you got to buy a load of you got to buy the water, you got to buy the flow improver, you got to buy the retarder, and the retarder medium's quite expensive. This is the retarder I buy. I think it's about 7 or 8 quid a bottle. So it's going to cost you about 40 quid to get the materials to make this. But once you've got it, you'll make enough thinner to last you about 20 years. And a lot of us are using alcohol for various things anyway. It's very common for cleaning aircraft. When you paint aircraft, especially with an airbrush, you put a bit of alcohol on a lint-free cloth, and then you just wipe over your aeroplane, and that cleans the surface ready for airbrushing. So if you got any grease on it, obviously the paint won't stick to it, will it?
No.
So the alcohol will just degrease it. Alcohol isn't the best. There's various chemicals that you can buy for an awful lot of money, but I think for the price you pay, alcohol is probably one of the best. Right, there you go. There's a bit more life in that paint now. Just got to knock the bubbles out. The only trouble with doing paint this way is it does go bubbly. Something that I meant to tell you before, when you're painting, if you find you're getting bubbles on the paint surface, what it simply means is you're painting too quickly.
Okay.
Slow it down and you lose the bubbles and you get a nice smooth surface. Okay, so how is your paint? Did you say it was a big thick lump?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's thinner now, but I didn't put a lot of water in.
So you have a choice. You can either thin this enough so you can use it straight out of the bottle, or you can just thin it so it's usable. Now, this is what I mean by usable. I wouldn't paint with that, but it's usable. And then what I can then do is put some onto the palette and then thin it when I actually need it. But me personally, you see there's about half a tub there, isn't there?
Yeah.
So I say, what the heck? Why not just put more thinner in there? And we'll thin it down so it's ready to use out of the bottle, out of the pot. But you see, as you get into different techniques, airbrushing, paint brushing, you'll find that you need different paints for different consistencies of paints.
Yeah.
So this could be too thin for one kind of application and too thick for another. And if it's too thin for something, you can't use it. We know we're going to be brush painting. So can you remember the little trick? One of the tricks I taught you so that you know when it's thin enough?
No.
Paint something with it.
Oh, yes.
It's that simple. So what I'll do is I'll get my, don't forget to wash your brush as well, because that's, you know, when you feel your brush, it's all crusty.
Yeah.
So you put some kind of chemical on it to help keep the brush nice. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get one of the sprues, it doesn't matter which one, and I'm going to find this lettering here. And I'm just going to dip my brush in the pot. And I'll just give that a little brush. And that's going on. So it's going on quite nice, but it's not holding a lot of paint. So I would suggest it's all right. It's not really any brush marks on it, but I just want to just pop a couple more drops in there, and then I'll feel a bit more comfortable with it. I like to be able to, I don't like to flood my parts with paint, but I like to think that if I did flood it, it'll be fine. So I will be with you guys in a minute with the chat, but as you can see, I'm just mixing this paint with me cocktail stick. There we go. Wash my brush so I've got new paint on it, or rinse my brush. I'm actually using very dirty old water here. So I'll find something else to paint. That's a lot better. That's so nice. Don't know if you can see that. But you see, it's not obscuring the detail. That one's not too bad, but it painted okay, but it just felt a little bit thick. And this is one of the things that you'll develop, Natasha.
Yeah.
You'll get to feel it. You know, you've painted 2 or 3 models, so you know, until you understand what it's, you just keep painting models, and then when you get it wrong, you'll learn more from getting it wrong than getting it right.
Yeah.
Right, so where are we up to? If I miss any chat out, I apologize. Hi Octal, hi Smith and Teresa. Need the magnifying glasses. Hi Teresa Smith. Paul Christopher says, evening fellow modelers. Wayne Welly, it all comes with experience, Tasha. There we go.
Yeah.
Wayne Welly says, hi Paul. Anfield says, hi Paul. Hi Wayne and Anfield. I haven't seen you in ages, Francis. How you been? How's your... Francis is absolutely amazing at figure painting. She says she isn't, but that's typical figure painter, isn't it? Oh, you're absolutely... No, I'm not. Don't be silly. Mine are terrible. Wayne Welly, but that's Peter for you. He's just got a big heart. Yeah. Could you send me the link to buy some bottles? 2 days later, 30 bottles comes through the post. East Coast says, just popping in to say hi and like. Penny Tash and all in chat. Enjoy your evening. We always do. We always do, don't we, Tasha?
Yeah.
How many times do we start a stream gone, oh, I don't know if I'm really up for this? And by the time we've done our 15-hour stream, we're like, yeah, I enjoyed that. Wayne Welly, hi East Coast. Teresa says, hi Francis. Adam Smith Speed says, hi East Coast. Hi Francis Paul. Francis says, doing okay. Right. So are we ready to paint?
Trying.
Okay. Have you done your little test on the sprue? I like that, actually. I think that's quite nice. That's come out quite well. If I can find it. Now you can see it's not obscured any details, but can you see in the middle bit there, there's little bits where it didn't quite cover.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little tiny bit too thick. It just kind of felt like you'll feel it if you paint on something smooth, not paper. As you pull the brush, you'll kind of feel some resistance. If that happens, it's too thick. If it's thin enough, it just wants to. It's paint can be a lubricant. That's the best way to think about it. If you put oil on your brush, your brush will. But when it's dry, it kind of wants to pull. It's if you to go to the other extreme, if you dipped your brush in PVA glue and dragged it across, you get that resistance, don't you?
Yeah.
So whenever you're ready and not before, we're going to paint this. Don't have to paint the bottom because it won't be seen. But I'm going to, or I might not. I really don't know. I haven't decided yet. So nice smooth strokes as you did before. There's a little ejector pin mark there I didn't spot. Maybe another time if I can spot it before, we'll get you sanding them down. This is actually really nice. This paint is nice. Could do better with a bigger brush, but there you go. Number 2 brush is sort of the jack of all trades, but master of none. And try to avoid painting the sides. It doesn't matter if you do, but it's good practice. Now, if you want to paint this bit on the top there, you can. If you don't want to paint it, it's fine because it's going to be painted black. So you could say, what's the point in painting that green if you're going to paint over it in black? But it'll give it an extra coat of paint, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay. And just take your time. I can't believe I'm getting this in. I'll get this in 2 coats. That's unheard of for me. Normally, I try to thin my paints to the perfect thickness, and I end up overdoing it, and then end up having to do 3 coats, or sometimes 4, which is fine. It's better to have your paint too thin than too thick, but I can never seem to be able to get it just right. I think I will thin this for the second coat. See, that's another thing I'll do. I'll put the first coat on, and then I'll just thin it a bit for the second coat. So I've just failed in avoiding the side bit, but it's just a little bit of practice for trying to be selective in where you paint. I've actually missed bits on this. It's actually a really terrible paint job. I wonder if my paint's a little bit too thick. That is absolutely dreadful. Look at that. Absolutely terrible paint job. I mean, it is a first coat.
Mine's not perfect either.
Well, I wouldn't expect it to be perfect on the first coat, but mine is absolutely dreadful. But there's no brush marks in it. Now, normally I would say do the second coat in the opposite direction because that helps eliminate brush strokes.
Am I painting most of this green?
All of it. All of it.
All of it.
Like
So
this.
every little spot on it.
Yeah. Well, the top bit, you've got two little squares on the top.
Yeah.
They will be painted black. So I say it's up to you if you want to paint them green. I am, because black will go better over a painted surface than bare plastic. So you're effectively using that green as a primer.
Right, okay, so I'm painting
Which is
all
why
of it.
we always end up having to do two coats, because the first coat is just coating the plastic. And, you know, with the thickness of the way that we thin our paints, you're generally not going to get a great coat anyway. And it's that second coat that adds something. So let's see if I can do better on this one. And don't forget, when your brush starts to get a bit clogged up, give it a rinse in your paint water. I'm going to have to take a break, guys, because that's all the paint water I've got. So as you see, it's probably making my brush dirtier.
Right, yeah, it could be. Wow, painting it all green.
Oh, did I tell you I nearly didn't lose my lodger the other day?
No?
Oh, so you know my lodger was moving out yesterday.
Yeah.
He comes round and he goes, and this is how much of a soft touch I am. I said, oh, how's your girlfriend? I said, she's not my girlfriend anymore. So apparently what had happened, her brother wanted to borrow some money for a business.
Yeah.
He says, I haven't got that much money. I can't help. Apparently she had said, well, if you love me, you'll give my brother the money.
Wow.
He said, I'll see you later then. And now I had to sort of sit down and explain to him, I don't actually want a lodge to come back.
Right.
At the same time, I couldn't just sort of kick you out in the streets, because he'd spoken to my cat sitter the other week, and he said, if it doesn't work out, I'll just come back. And because when she told me, I went, no, he's not. And I've already said to him, you're not coming back. But you can't kick someone out in the streets in a cold December day, can you?
No.
So I said to him, I said, look, okay, you can stay, but look, I'm not, please don't think it's, it's not really anything you've done. I said, I do want you to move out. So we kind of agreed, don't just take anything, but I'll say maybe I'll give you 3 months, and that'll give you the chance to look for something good rather than just finding any old place. And then he comes back. Last night he messages me. he says, oh, I'm going to be staying with a friend. I said, okay, lovely. So he's come round today to get the rest of his stuff. I slept in the bed last night with the cats. The cats are loving being in that room. So they've got more space now. And that's what it is, you know, the cats are happier and I'm happier. Maybe it's because when he moved out, I kind of very quickly got used to being on my own.
True.
And there are little things, but, you know, I was talking to a neighbour about it and I said, the thing is, no matter how much you get on with someone, there's always going to be niggly things like the way he does things. You know, I get on very well with my neighbour and I'm very respectful to her, but, you know, maybe I might wash up the wrong way or I might fold the towels the wrong way. And it's those little things that over time they grate on you, don't they?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm quite happy to sort of say, yeah, it's not you, it's me. And I mean that genuinely. But I just don't I've got used to being on my own and I like being on my own.
Yeah, I must admit I'm the exact same.
Yeah. So, yeah, no more lodgers anymore unless something extraordinary happens. Like I lose my job and the bailiffs start knocking at the door. But if I do ever have a lodger, it won't be my choice. That's a much better second coat. I should actually have painted the other green bits before I did the second coat. Would have given it a bit more time to dry, but obviously there's a combination of some drying and some isn't, but that'll do. So the two bits you're painting is the seat as well, but you're actually aiming primarily for the seat cushions. So
nowhere near it yet.
right, so when you do the seat, which one's a 33? Is it black?
Black.
Right. So you're going to go, to be honest with you, it's probably going to be easier to do this in black. See, this is the problem. This bit is easier to do the green than the black. This one is easier to do the black than the green, because remember what I said about painting lower before you paint higher?
Yeah.
So the lower details on there wants to be black and the raised detail wants to be green.
I'm still on this bleeding long thing.
No, it's fine. But you see, with the tank, everything was easier. Because do you remember I said you want to try to paint dark colors over light, and you want to try and paint lower details, what they call recessed details, before you paint raised details. So if we wanted to paint the lower details, we've got to paint the black before the dark color before the light. If we do the light color before the dark, then we're going to have real trouble. Can you see how difficult it is to get the paintbrush in there without getting on the cushions? Whereas if we paint it all and then we do the cushion last, we can, to a point, we can target our painting a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll wait for you to catch up on that and then we'll go on the black. By the time you've caught up with that, well, we'll have to give you a couple more minutes because obviously we need your green to dry. Now, little trick for you, if you had an airbrush, which I know you haven't, you could just give that a bit of a blast, or you could use a hairdryer, but don't use a hot setting. Don't, if you hit it with a hot setting, then that will probably end up that shape.
Yeah.
From the heat. Right, I'll do a catch up on the chat. So I'll start here. Teresa says, hi, Francis Adams. Hi, East Coast. Hi, Francis Paul. Doing okay. Hi, East Coast Paul. Caitlin, how are you? We need a special noise for Caitlin, don't we? What have we got? We got anything interesting I can play? I've got subscribe. That gives a funky message. Please do consider liking my stream and subscribing. Don't forget to hit the notifications so you are informed of any future shenanigans in the future. And then we've got this one, which I don't like using, Please note that this is an encouragement channel. By that, we ask you not to be critical, especially of guests. All people have their own levels of experience and skill. That is, if anybody does misbehave in chat, which I don't think anyone ever has, that's when I bring that up, you know I'm doing a very subtle first warning. And then my few but brilliant moderators will then all be on standby, and their button will be hovering over the ban hammer or the kick hammer. But we don't really need that very often, do we?
No.
So Teresa says hi, Caitlin. Caitlin says hi, Teresa. Teresa says, how's the leg now, Caitlin? Still career ending. Bless. Teresa, oh no, that's no good. No football. And then there's all my waffle. Caitlin says, now my foot's better now. Just shouldn't have trained yesterday. Okay, fair enough. Did you see the football results yesterday? My team actually won. And now we're into this semi-finals of this. I can't remember what it's called, but is it the Bristol Street Trophy or something like that?
No idea.
It's the trophy for the little clubs. We beat Brighton. See, I don't understand. I don't know. It's under 21 thing because the big clubs can put their under 21s in.
Yeah.
Now, in the last round, we beat West Ham, which are apparently the best under 21 side in the competition this year. And then we beat Brighton and Hove Albion under 21s. And then you watch in the next round, we'll get some little League Two team, and they'll probably wipe the floor with us.
I'm catching up slowly.
That's all right. You model at your pace. If I'm faster than you, it's probably because I've done it more times than you. So Wayne Welly, yeah, as there's no need to put anyone down. It's common interest we all share. Yeah, I tried to do this. Obviously, I'm focusing on Natasha and trying to get her better. But I hope it'd be nice if someone else can come in and watch it, and they go, oh yeah, okay, that's a new thing that I've just learned. Or do you remember what I said about going over the same things, Natasha?
Yeah.
There's common things that we're doing. Every kit will have certain things that we always do. And then there's other things that we do that are specific to certain kits or other types of kits.
Yeah.
Naturally, I am going to try and push you just a little bit because you're not a basic beginner anymore, are you? Even you can admit that. You've got skills.
Basic, just a little bit above basic.
You've got skills lurking under there, Natasha. You just won't admit it. I wonder if
just gonna mute a minute so I can blow my nose.
No, that's absolutely fine. So I have a question for the viewers. Generally, this is the color for RAF cockpits. If I can figure out what I've just done with my seat. So, for example, this is the seat of the RAF Lancaster. Now, should therefore this be a lighter green, or is it that green because it is an American aircraft? Or is it because it's a different time scale? You know, this might be a later or earlier than the Lancaster. It doesn't have, it does have an age on it because it's on the back of the box, isn't it? So this particular one is from 1945. Oh, well, if it's 1945, which is late war, I'd expect that to be RAF. Well, you know, it's not like RAF cockpit green was used in the early days or not used in the early days. So anyway, Dale McCormick says, good evening, everyone. Wayne Welly says, hi, Dale. Dale says, hi, Wayne. And Teresa say, hi, Dale. Yeah, so Wayne Welly says, RAF and USAF use different colours. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. because obviously this is a North American Mustang, which is quite clearly an American aircraft. If it was an American aircraft sold second-hand to the RAF, they probably aren't going to respray the cockpit. So that could be why it's a dark green. But then weren't the cockpits of the RAF, American Air Force, weren't they zinc chromide? Because they didn't actually bother painting them, did they? Or was that just the bombers? So basically what they do is they get the metal aircraft off the factory floor, and they just paint them with zinc chromide, and they'd leave them that color, because it doesn't matter what the inside looks like, does it? Are you still with us, Natasha? Or are you watching YouTube?
No, I'm
you're
here.
Watching us on YouTube, aren't you? I can see my hand.
Yeah, because I can see better over there, but it's like a 10-second delay on what you're doing.
I'm just waiting for my hand to come up on your tablet. But it's not coming up yet. There we go. There's my hand.
There you go. That's how much of a delay I got, so I can see what you're doing.
7 to 15 seconds is about average.
Yeah,
right.
It's just easier for me with a bigger screen, especially with the phone turned on.
No, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So Smith B says, hi, Dale McCormick Mac 3D. Hi, Teresa, says Dale. Phil's model maker says evening. Or Wayne Welly says, hi, Phil. Teresa says, hi, Phil. So how are you getting on with that painting then? Have you done two nice coats of green?
No, I've just done one.
Okay. That's fine. We'll wait for you to do
another
another
coat. I'm trying to
go
go a bit slower than I did with the tank.
That's absolutely fine.
But I'm not sure if it needs a second coat.
I would tend to err on the side of, if it doesn't need a second coat, maybe the first coat's a little bit thick.
Probably.
I don't say it like that.
Yeah, it needs second coat. I can see where I've missed bits now. I've moved in the light.
So maybe just pop a little bit of paint on a palette and just thin that slightly, so it's slightly more like a wash, and it's just going to sort of even it all out.
Okay.
I noticed something when I was painting my Lancaster. I don't half use a lot of paint for a small area.
Is that what you noticed?
Yeah. This seat must have used about 5 or 6 drops of paint.
Wow.
And of course I put the paint in, and then the first thing I do is I dilute it 50-50 with airbrush thinner. So straight away my 5 drops of paint have come about 10 drops, and I must have used about 3. By the time I thinned it and mixed it and put it into the airbrush cup, I had about 3/4 of a cup in the airbrush, and it probably took me longer to clean the airbrush out than it did to actually paint it.
Wow, that's a long.
I mean, it's okay saying, oh well, you know, if you work, I mean, £2.75 or £2.50 for a pot of paint this big.
Yeah,
it's quite expensive when you compare it to something like Dulux. And then, you know, how many drops do you get out of that? 100 drops?
About that, isn't it?
So if it's 100 drops, then it's about tuppence a drop. So it's not expensive to use the paints, but, you know, if you can cut your paint usage down in half. So, yeah, that's something that I've got to learn. So Wayne Welly says, one thing I want model at some point is a captured plane, as some paint schemes look really interesting. I tell you what I got, and I don't want to go out and buy another Lancaster, but I have seen a Lancaster in captured Luftwaffe colours. I don't know if it was a real aeroplane or if it's a what if, but it actually looks really nice. And I was thinking about it, but I thought, well, the 1:48 scale Lancaster that I've got was quite expensive. And obviously if you buy a Lancaster, you want to do it in proper it deserves to be done properly in Lancaster colours, doesn't it? Especially 1:48 scale. But now I've got this 1:32 scale and I'm doing Douglas Bader's Dam Buster.
Yeah.
Maybe I could think about doing this other one in Luftwaffe colours.
No harm.
But I have got a Mitsubishi Zero in American colours, and they do wasn't there a Horton Ho or something in REF colours? But I think that's a what if scheme. But yeah, I do. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Because resources were low in the World War II or whatever, whatever era it was. And if you've got a perfectly good aircraft, but it just happens to be one of the enemies, why not paint it up and use it?
I'm getting there, Penny.
It's all right. You take your time. There's no rush, Natasha. No rush, but I don't want to die of old age. That was a joke. Sorry, I'm sounding like someone else now.
If you do, yeah, it's not my fault.
Well, I'm already halfway there. Before we even start the stream. But yeah, I do
paint faster.
I do. Oh, no, don't wish. Just paint at your own pace. You will naturally speed up as you get more confident, but you may never be super fast at painting. I'm not particularly fast.
Yeah, but you managed 2 coats already.
Yeah, but then you weren't doing anything while I was explaining, but I was painting as I was explaining.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, as I say, I've never been a super fast painter. When I watch all these Warhammer videos and I see people go, oh, I've got to get this whole army done in 2 days for a commission build. And I'm thinking, you got no chance, mate. And then at the end of the video, they go, there you go, I've done it. I did have to stay up late last night, but I've completed it. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm going to have to look that up, Wayne Welly. There was a B-17 that got captured by Germans, and that looked funky. As one of the projects that I've got ready to go is a assembly ship for the B-17. But the way I'm doing it, the actual aircraft I've got, I can't remember if I've got the Revel one and I've got the Monogram one. Or is it Revel? I've got 2 Revel ones. Oh, the Revel one is the Monogram one. Now, the aircraft is correct on one. So I think one's an F and one's a G. And I think it's the F that I need. But I've got to rip the interior out of the G because it's a better interior than the F. So I'm kind of kit bashing. So I figure if I can take the insides out of one and put it in the first, then surely I can put the opposite ones in. So I'm going to end up with another B-7. So I'm probably going to end up with a Memphis Belle that has bad interior. So, yeah, that could be a good candidate for something different, couldn't it? Anyway, you said you're finished.
I'm finished.
What we're going to do now is we're going to do some black
on
all 3 pieces. Okay, so we're going to paint this piece, the first piece, completely black all over. Now,
that tiny thing.
I can't remember if you got the reverse tweezers or have you got normal tweezers?
Reverse.
Have you got any reverse tweezers?
Have a look.
If you haven't, it's fine. But look, a really good place to hold that. Yes, that's it. They're reverse tweezers. So if you got your reverse tweezers, see that little stub there? That's the bit that's going into the cockpit floor. So if you hold
the middle one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So if you hold your tweezers there, because wherever you put the tweezers, you're not going to be able to paint, are you?
No.
Right. So why not have the bit that you don't really need to paint as the bit you're going to miss out?
Okay.
So that's that bit. We're also going to do the seat. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do is try to paint all of this black except for the padding on the seats.
Oh,
You
okay.
probably won't do it, but it's good to try. The more you paint, the more paint control. But leave that till second, and I'll just give you a little bit of a tip to help. But we are going to be painting over that again in the green when we're finished. So any bits of black that you get onto the padding, we're going to tidy up. So don't panic. But if you try to paint just that outer edge,
Yeah.
it's good practice. And then what we're going to do last, you see these two square bits on the top? We're going to
Yes.
paint those black, but you don't want to get the floor of the green black. No, you're
Okay.
going to quite carefully going down, and I will pause you after you've once you do this first, and then I'll try and give you a little bit of a tip.
Okay.
All right.
So you want all this half
Right.
circle thing
So
in black?
paint this bit, paint the whole lot black, and then when
Right.
you're finished, but obviously we need to set our paint up. Now I'm going to cheat. I say cheat. I'm going to actually use my black from the tank because I know that's already mixed up. So what's the point in mixing a new paint and having an extra paint pot open?
Yeah.
Saying that, this isn't the one from the tank. So it looks like, but is your black got a little hinge on it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's the second generation. I'll bet this is good paint. Look at that. It will need a bit of thinning, but that's the sort of paint I would expect.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that onto my palette. Now, my palette of choice at the moment is my tile, which is extremely filthy because I was using it last night for airbrushing. But what I'm going to do, it's fairly good paint, but it's just not quite thin enough. So I'm going to put a little bit on my palette. I'll show you why I like this dropper bottle. I can just add how much paint how much water I need. I can then mix that on my palette. And then I can just brush a little bit as well, see how it brushes. And I think one more drop of paint. And I think that will be lovely. But I'm still going to do my paint in the sprue test. So remember, we get a piece of the sprue. And I'm going to get the same bit that I got last time. So this bit there where there's a little bit of detail, a little bit of writing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to paint over it. And that is a little bit thin, but it's actually rather nice. Look at that. Beautiful.
I can't really see what that is because it's
Wow.
black.
It's going to be difficult, but it hasn't clogged the detail up. You know, every time I mention Gen 2, there's always someone goes, Gen 2 is better. I would agree with that 200%. I've got some Gen 2 paints and I don't know where they are. They used to be on my desk, but now they're not. I think they probably, here we go. So I've got some of the Gen 2 paints and they are really, really nice. Superb paints. Right, so with the how thick I've got this paint, it's all, oh, look at that. That's almost splitting. So that's way too thin for one coat, but that's fine. I just want to get the coverage with one coat. And then once that's dried, it's actually one thing I keep forgetting to tell you, and I'm very guilty of it myself. And we should really wash our sprues before we begin, especially Airfix. Sometimes when these are, do you know what injection molding is?
No.
Right. So what you basically do is you have two pieces of metal blocks, and inside they have all the shapes carved out, and they squeeze in molten plastic, and then that's how a sprue is made. Now, in order to stop that from sticking to the mold, they have this release agent, which is essentially simplified. It's grease. Nothing sticks to grease, and that release agent does sometimes get on the plastic.
Yeah.
Now, if there's too much on it, it doesn't matter how much you paint it, your paint is never ever going to stick to the plastic. And the simple way around that is to wash your sprues in a solution of warm water with a little bit of washing up liquid, and that will just get rid of it. And I think that's what's happened with this. I'll see what it's like when it dries. So the teachers got caught out here, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what that's like when it dries. Might get away with it. It's gone okay on the back. So
Do I have to do the two side pointy bits?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't done them yet.
It's only that little point at the bottom that's going to go. That pointy bit is going to go into one of those holes in the bottom of this floor.
Okay. Just what I'd ask.
No, it's perfect. Absolutely fine.
Don't ask, don't know.
No, it's fine. Right. So one thing I want is right. So there was a B-17 that got captured by Germans. That looked funky. There was a German squadron called JG-200 that only used captured Ally aircraft. I bet that was a morale buster towards the opposition, wasn't it? Oh, they're flying the same aircraft as us. Although it could be a double-edged sword, because you know the strengths and weaknesses of your own aircraft. So you know how to beat your own aircraft, don't you? So, you know, they like to capture each other's stuff as meant they could stay ahead of the others. Yeah. Wasn't there, is it the Russian, Japanese, sorry, that most of their aircraft was just other people's aircraft that had been reverse engineered? Wayne Welly says Gen 2 is better. I was watching an interesting program the other day called, I think it was called War Factories. And this particular one was all about Ferrari. And it was sort of going through. Ferrari was a big fan of Hitler. Very, very big fan of Hitler.
Really?
And yeah. And did a lot of work for designing tanks and things. And it was quite ironic that they built this. It was based on the Beetle, but it was a troop carrier. And it went a massive 10 miles an hour. And the Germans were saying, can you slow it down, please? Because it's too fast for the infantry. But he'd built this massive, massive tank. You could actually get, your Sherman that you built. You could actually, if you put this Sherman onto this tank, it would be this big. It would actually fit on that. Yeah. And then after the war, the French arrested him on some trumped up. They said it was war crimes, but he hadn't actually committed any war crimes. And they kind of put him to work in the Renault factory. And it was like, yeah, did they just want his secrets? And but this tank that he designed, it was an absolute failure. I think it was like 4 years of development. They only built 2 of them. But when they first built it, it's not even got a gun turret on it.
Wow.
And then, yeah, absolute failure. And then, of course, he went on to make one of the best racing teams in the world. Right, so whenever that's dry, you can put the second coat on.
Done the first coat.
That's fine. So don't panic because I'm faster than you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually going on fine. Yeah. I'm actually going to need a third coat. My second coat is going on as I would like my first coat to go on. So it's not looking fantastic, but it's covering well. It's basically, that's all you're doing on your first coat. You're just getting a coverage layer.
Yeah.
And as long as that first coat and second coats go down nice and smooth, then your last coat will be your nice coverage coat. And it will go on because it'll adopt the shape of the layer of paint below it. So if the layer of paint below is brush marks and thick and lumpy, then every coat over the top is going to be the same. That's a lot better. I mean, I'd call that a good first coat. Yeah, it says the heavy Moors, but I can't remember what it was called. It was called something like, it was some silly name. But actually, do you know what tank the Ferrari actually did design for the German? Well, not Ferrari. His son went on and developed the company further. Do you know what tank his son designed or helped develop? The Leopard. The Leopard tank.
Really?
Yeah, which is one of the best tanks ever, isn't it? Well, you won't know because you
I
just call them.
don't know.
They're all the same to you, aren't they?
Yeah.
Big gun, big body, and shiny tracks.
Just waiting for my first coat to dry.
That's absolutely fine. This is the only issue with modeling is, I mean, if you plan this super well, you could be getting all your pieces out, line them all up, and you could do that piece black. It's just that we're going to be doing 3 slightly different things with the black, which is otherwise I'd say paint that, then paint that, then paint that. Then that'll be dry. So you go back and do the second coats. By the time you finish the third one, the first one's ready. So in a perfect world, you would line up all of your paints, all your pieces. You do all the green, then you do all the black, and then you do all the yellow, then all the red. Then you go back and you do all the second coats, and you'd get 10 times this much stuff done in half the time.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're taking it nice and simple. So I want to ask you a question. I probably should have asked you this offline. How do you feel about someone else joining us?
I don't mind.
Doing the same thing as us?
Don't mind.
Right. So what I'm then going to say to everybody else is if anybody else, especially if they're a bit of a beginner or they just need a little bit of mojo or whatever, when we finish this, if you want to if we tell you in advance what we're getting, you are more than welcome to join us. You don't have to join us every stream. The only problem is if you don't join us on one particular stream, we will kind of ask you to do a bit of a catch up in your own time. But yeah, if there's more of us, I'm sure that will still be beneficial, won't it? Maybe we can get Teresa or Caitlin in.
Good try.
Oops. I don't know why I'm mixing up a load of paint now. Not quite ready for it. Right. So you have got, you still got the second coat on that, haven't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do it now, so then it's done.
Well, mine's just about ready for my third coat. And that is very nice. Very happy with that. Now the little droppy down bits on the end, I'm trying to talk your language, Natasha. I would call them foot pedals. But the little droppy down bits, they're a little bit difficult to do because they've actually got some detail on them. And you're trying to get your brush in on a tight space. So if you are struggling, don't think you're useless. It's just that they are genuinely hard bits. The drawback of doing this with tweezers, you will get paint on your tweezers, and then when you're finished, you'll be like, oh no, my tweezers don't look so nice now. So that I'm quite happy with. And even if you're not happy with it, it's so much better than the first coat, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So don't forget, guys, to if you want to say, you know, if you're asking me the question, is that enough layers of paint? Is that good enough? The answer is, are you happy with it? Right, we have got right, that's good advice about painting parts at the same color while you have the brush in it. Yeah. So it's obviously we're doing this, technically we're doing it a bad way. You know, we're doing one part, then we're doing another, then we're doing another, but it's just I just want to slow everything down. But yeah, what I would be doing is I would be looking at the entire build. See the next stage. I don't know if we'd need to do that. But you see, we've got some propellers coming up for stage 5. So we'll have a quick look at the box art. And yep, the propellers are black. So, you know, it might have been an idea to get the propellers out and paint those. But the speed that we're going, that propeller will probably sit in the box for a couple of weeks. And then it's going to get scratched and stuff. But yeah. But I personally, I wouldn't be painting beyond there anyway. Get all the painting, but actually we could have done that. There's a bit of 30 in the back. Oh, yeah, I have boo-booed. Never mind, don't worry about it. So the inside of the cockpit needs to be painted green, but that's okay. It's it kind of fits in with the pace that we're going. It just means we've definitely got to do some painting in the next stream and possibly the one after.
I'll be right back.
Yep, no problems. Are you busy for a minute or so? Do you want me to take you out the stream for a sec?
No, I'm just going to the toilet.
All right then, fair enough then. Right, Gen 2, the heavy morse. Right, doing a buddy build, yeah. I mean, the thing is, if we've got a few beginners out there, you know, we could all progress together. And you know, if we're doing it on stream, and you know, if you're new to the hobby and you want to jump on, and then you as you're doing the build, you can then go, oh, I'm struggling with this. Do you know why? I might not know the answer, but you know, someone will. So MP says, good evening, Penny and Natasha, and a nice little waving emoji. Hi, MP. Hi, Wayne Welly. Teresa says, I can't build a model. I have no patience or concentration at all for them. I bet you've got more than you make out. Hi, MP. Wayne says, so Teresa is out of the question. MP says, hi, Teresa. And Caitlin's more into her Lego than her models. I'm going to show you something, guys. I am well chuffed with this. Bear with me a second. So this is 2/3 of Concorde in Lego, and I'm absolutely loving it. As you can see, I've still got to do the tail, and I've still got to do the cockpit. I did cheat slightly. This is 2 videos worth. I did bags 1 to 7 for the first stage, and I was, because there's 21 bags in total, so I went, right, 7 bags of build. I was going to do bags 8 to 14, but bag 21 is this absolutely beautiful stand, absolutely amazing. You build it that way and it builds up really nicely, and it really does hold the whole weight of this Concorde. So I did the stand, so I'm up to bag 13. So I've still got 14 to go, but I've only got to go up to stage 21. But absolutely beautiful. It's difficult. It's getting easier, actually. The inside, it makes all of the Legos that I've done, there's something quirky in it, something that makes you smile. It seems to me Lego's all about the enjoyment of the build. For example, the Route Master, you have a little sticker to put onto one of the seats to make it look like it's been scuffed. And then you've got one little pink piece, which is a piece of bubble gum, and you put that on the bottom of one of the seats, and that represents someone's been eating bubble gum and stuck it on the bottom of the seats. The bit that makes me smile on this one is you've got some seats there, but if you look there, it's got toilets, which I thought was brilliant. And the undercarriage is fantastic. I should have done it that way, shouldn't I? And the only thing that's a little bit confusing, because they don't tell you, there's a lot of orange in it. You see there, the orange isn't part of the build, but the orange is all about supports. So you start off by building part of the Technic mechanism to that you get cogs and things, and then you put this orange bit over, and it stops the cogs from working. So you're looking at it and you're like, well, that can't be right, because now the cogs don't work. So you check the instructions 3 or 4 times and you see actually it is right. So you think, well, all right, I'll trust the process. And then a little bit later on, you take this orange piece off, and then the cogs start working. And all it is, it's holding those cogs so that they're in the correct position. Because if you think about it, if you do this, if you've got your rear undercarriage up and your front undercarriage down, because it all works off the same mechanism, it's obviously not going to work. So you have to put things in place. I don't know why I'm putting that down. So that everything is all proper and all lined up. And then later on in the build, you've got these smaller orange blocks. They're only like a couple of the thin ones put together, and they go on the bottom, and all they are is so that you can put everything down on the table and it's steady, it doesn't rock. And it's absolutely brilliant. The engineering in this is absolutely brilliant. We're so chuffed I got it, and it is very, very big. Wayne Welly, some parts also can be painted on the sprues too. Yes, there's always that one as well. Wayne Welly says Concord. Teresa says that looks brilliant, Penny. MP says very good Concord. That looks awesome. The details are excellent. Biggest Lego set I've seen is the Death Star, and I was gutted I had to sell the Millennium. That I would have done anything to get the Millennium Falcon. I even considered getting fake Lego Millennium Falcon, but even that's expensive. Working features and a detailed interior. This is actually from, I didn't know they did it, and I did spot it on the box, and it's an 18 plus range. And you know the 18 plus ranges because they dull the colors down. Have we got Natasha back yet? Not yet.
Yep.
Oh, you are back. There we go. So they tend to make the boxes blacker. It's a bit more of an adult color, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know if it's an 18 rated build, because it's I think a kid, I wouldn't say a young child could do it, but I don't think typically it's not an adult only build. It's not that much dexterity needed. That you don't need brain, you just need to follow the instructions. The instructions are extremely clear. They've got like only 1 or 2 stages per page. Building with the boys, evening all, how are you? Teresa says hi, building with the boys. Building with the boys says hey, Teresa. 650 quid for the Falcon. I had to do a quick I'm gutted for you. The trouble I have with Lego, I do like my Lego. I think I've got about 5 or 6 pieces of Lego now, but they're so expensive for what I get out of them. You know, I think I've got about 4 or 5 hours building to get to here. So I anticipate maybe another couple of hours building. The only trouble is I've tried to use it as a reward. I did the first 7 bags and I said to myself, I'll film it, then I'll tidy my room up. And then the next day I went, I haven't tidied my room up. Right, I can't tidy my room up until I've done it. And then I sort of persuaded myself, I promised myself I'll tidy my room up if I can do the next stage first. And as you can see, I've managed to break 2 promises. So I am being very strict to myself. I will not complete this until I've tidied my craft room up. Sounds fair enough, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So bear with me. I'm just going to try and carefully put this back on the shelf because I would hate to drop it before I finished it. But yeah, I do not regret skipping a couple of 100 stages and then skipping forwards to do the stand. Most ingenious thing I've done. Wayne Welly says the Lego Titanic looks absolutely amazing. Yes, I've seen that. My friends built the Titanic. I want one. But you see, when I'm doing my part works, if I do one part work per video, it's costing me a tenner to make a video. 7 videos a week is 70 quid. I know I don't do 7 part works. Obviously, if I'm doing more, that's going to cost me more. Now, when I do scale models, you know, my average scale model is about 50 quid, but I can get maybe 10 videos out of that. That Lego was 100 and I can't remember exactly how much. Should we call it 180? It's 3 videos I'm getting out of it, and I can't stretch it out anymore because it's boring enough as it is to watch. It's 60 quid a video. It's you know, I couldn't do these people who have these channels where they do nothing but Lego. I have no idea how they do it. So Building with the Boys says you should try the fun hole models, beautiful things and a great price. I am getting that. For anyone who hasn't seen Building with the Boys channel, pop over, have a look. He's done a lot of videos since, but he did this. Correct me if I haven't got this spot on. There's like a steampunk, there's a mining village or something. You had a train, and then your next build was the train station, and it's compatible with the train. I just looked at that and I went, oh, I need that in my life. But I keep trying to forget about it. MP says, I love the old kits in metal, Meccano and workable parts. Yeah. I do like a model that does something, you know. That Concorde, obviously the undercarriage, that's all it really does, to be honest. And the nose goes up and down. I don't know if you have to pull the nose up and down or if there's mechanics, but when it's finished, the way you do the undercarriage is by turning the tail, because there's a little tapered bit comes out and you actually twist that. So I'm waiting to see how the mechanics of that comes out. How are you getting on?
Done the second coat.
Right. Do you want to do the seat now?
I'll give it a go.
Right. So do not worry if you go over, because like I say, we will be going over the padding. But now the trick I'm going to use, which is a little bit dirty because you might not be able to, I'm going to use a smaller brush.
Okay.
Obviously, if you've got a smaller brush, fantastic. Now keep your paint thin, not too thin that it splits, but keep it a little bit thinner. And let me do a bit of a zoom. Right, so paint will flow better on paint than it will on bare plastic. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come in as close as I can, but not all the way up. And then I'm just going to keep painting over, and I'm just going to creep my way up. Literally a hair width closer every time. And I'm just going to, and what it does is it also trains your brush fingers to draw in a straight line. Okay. So there, I've got a fairly good straight line. Yeah. So, and I'm using the tip of my brush because there might be paint on the ferrule. Now this bit's going to be a little bit more tricky. A, because I can't hold it, and B, I've got to try and get it between cushions. So paint, push the brush in, creep up on it. That one I've actually gone over on. Oh, sorry, guys. So I have actually gone over onto the cushion there. So I haven't got it perfect. So don't think I'm some kind of painting god. If anyone has any better tips, I am listening. But yeah, for the sides, creep up on it. Now, what will probably happen in reality, you will end up painting onto the cushions, right? Also, don't forget this is a first coat, so it's trying to split as well. Now, what will probably happen is you'll get black onto the cushions. That's not a problem. But when you do the cushions, you'll tidy that up. But then what will probably happen in reality, when you do the green, you will get the green onto where the black should be. And you'll be going backwards and forwards between the black and the green. And then what you just need to do is just find a point, a happy medium. Okay, now I've just done something without showing you there. Right, so that is mine complete if I can find it. The rest of that, oh, actually, no, it's not. Sorry. Let me just double check I've got that. There's supposed to be a cushion on the bottom there, but there isn't. It's actually recessed details. Right, anyway. So when you're doing the edge of something, I don't know if you figured this out already, but you see you got the edge there. Don't paint that with the tip of your brush. Use the side of your brush like this. And then you only get the raised detail. If you go in like that, and in fact, I'm going to do this to show you. So if you go in like that and you slip, look where the paint's gone. Yeah. But if you go in, I mean, I exaggerated that slip. But if you go in with the side of your brush and you slip a little bit, it's fine. Look, see, I bent that over 45 degrees.
Yeah.
It's a little bit messy on the edge, and I just want to tidy that up a bit. But as I say, even I will, when I come to do the green, I will probably get a bit of overpaint on it. Oh, forgot to do the back. I'm going to do the back. I don't think it's going to be shown. I don't think it will be seen, but I'm going to do it. I have a little thing called I Know It's Done. We used to have this discussion in the Warhammer shop. When an orc or a goblin is holding a shield and he's holding that shield close to his body, do you need to paint that shield? After all, it won't get seen. Do you know what? That I did think that, Athol. There's no cushion on the seat, as that is where the parachute sits in the pilot. Because that's when we used to fly chipmunks. The first thing I said was, there's no cushion in there. Yeah, you're going to be sitting on your parachute. But the instructions say to paint that bit green. So maybe ignore that. Shall we ignore that, Natasha?
Which bit? Sorry.
So this this bottom bit there,
Mm.
if I can get it in focus, it's saying to paint that green to
Right.
represent a cushion, but there is no cushion. So shall we
Yeah.
look? Let me show you what I'm about to do. So instead of painting it green, shall we paint it? Why is my paint gone really super thin? So shall we paint it like that instead? Because there's no cushion there.
Yeah, could do.
Yeah. So that, Natasha,
Mm.
is technically we've done some research
Yeah.
and we've improved our kit as a result of the research. Now, where that research comes from is up to you. You can look things up on the internet. You can go to the library and read books, or you can speak to other people who know. I can pretty much guarantee you that you will never be the first person to build any particular kit. And if you can get hold of someone who's built it, or maybe Athol has a real interest in Mustangs, and he knows far more about Mustangs than we'll ever know, so he's a really good person to speak to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, if someone comes along and says, well, actually I'd have done this, listen to them. You don't have to take their advice, but certainly listen to them. I've been doing a little bit of things listening to Nigel's modeling bench with regards to the Lancaster, because he knows an awful lot. He knows a lot anyway. He used to work for Rolls-Royce, so he's got an interest in anything Rolls-Royce engine. He's also built the kit that I'm about to build. And when he was doing it on YouTube, his viewers, some of which knew an awful lot about certain things, were giving him advice. So I'm just using that advice for myself, and there's absolutely no shame in that. So building with the boys is spending yet more of my money. You can get a light kit for the Concorde. He likes to spend all my money by showing me things and telling me about things that I want to buy. Wayne Welly says, one thing that bugs me with the hairy stick is how the bristles sometimes separate. Right, I have got a wonderful trick for that. One is look after your brush in the first place, which is something that I'm guilty of. That isn't a well looked after brush. The other thing, and I haven't got it with me because I took it to the hotel, I forget who makes it, but brush soap. It comes in a little brown tub, and you just put a little bit of it. It's a soap. It's soap, but it's got soap and conditioner in. It's Tresemme two in one for brushes, and it really does work. But look, this brush isn't dead, but it does go a bit because this is about 5 years old. But yeah, it's like anything. If you have a tool and you look after it, it'll look after you. Phil's models, you're doing it right. Start with the furthest back section first. It's the painter's mantra. Yeah. So as I said to you before, it's easier to paint the lower details and then paint the green on top. It does break the rule of painting the dark color over the light, because we're now painting a lighter color over a dark. But I think in this case, it's better to paint the recessed areas first than to paint the dark color over the light. Athol, Penny, there's no cushion in the seat. So yeah, so that's the bit where we've just picked up on his advice and we've just gone, and painting that black has just made it easier for us.
Yeah.
So how is your seat looking?
I've done the black where you said to do the black.
Lovely. So we should have, while we were waiting for this, we should have moved on to the black bit in the cockpit. But the reason I haven't is because I want to deal with just one small section at a time. So Wayne Welly, hi Athol, Yaki Dan Boyo at Wayne Welly. I'm sure that means something. Hi Teresa, LOL. Athol, the only Mustangs I know have 4 legs, 4 hooves, a head and a tail, or fork drive them on roads. No, listen, you should have gone with it. But you had a snippet of information there that we were able to use, and we would be fools to have ignored it. Also, Tesco's and Asda book charities and have some interesting reference books on times. Yeah, and I think internet is your best bet anyway. Right. Well, it's not your best bet, but there's a lot of information on the internet. Right. So last thing we're going to do, you see these two blobs there? Let me get a close up. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So you've got your inside of your cockpit.
Yeah.
And we're going to be painting this bit.
Oh, them two all over.
Now, I've already taught you the technique, haven't I? I'm going to change my brush for a better one, I think. This is a bigger brush, but it's a better brush. Right, so let me get, my paint is just evaporating. I think it's because I thinned it a little bit too much and it's just evaporating away. The thinners that I use, it has alcohol in it. So I do have to thin my paints more regularly than if I use water, but it does give me a smoother paint job. Right, so let me wash that. So when we paint this black, remember I said as close as you dare, and then just creep in on it.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to worry about painting it too much, because you're not adding paint, you're just using the paint that's there and you're just spreading it about more. So I'm going to come in maybe halfway.
Okay.
Yep. And then I'm just going to keep brushing, bring those bristles in a little bit closer with every stroke, and then bring the brush of the paint back. And my paint is very, very thin. It's deceptively thin, so bear with me a sec, guys. I'm not going to say the paint is useless because it's black. It's the second gen paint one. But right. So it's only going to be a problem if you introduce more paint. You're just using the paint that's there and you're just spreading it and pushing it down ever so slightly and you're creeping in. And then there you can, sorry guys. So you see I've got that pretty close, haven't I? Okay. And then I'll work on the next one. There is another method. It's called masking tape. But certain areas like this, I don't think you need it. Okay. And then to the next section. So look, I've come about halfway down there. And I'm just going to keep pushing that paint about. Getting it a little bit closer. Have a look where your brush, and I'm using the very tip of my brush as well. And just easing it down. That one I've actually gone a little tiny bit over, but not enough for me to worry about. I'm really not bothered by that. If your paint is thinner, a little bit too thin, get a kitchen roll, okay, and just touch the end on the kitchen roll. So I'll do that again. So I've got a bit too much brush paint on there. Just touch the end on the kitchen. I still haven't got it. Right, let's go further down. Right, so too much on my brush. Just touch the end of the kitchen roll like that. And that just knocks the blob off the end so you don't end up flooding it.
Yeah.
But if your paint's not too thin, if you're doing things like glazing, which is probably now confused you, is actually way too much paint on there. So I'll just touch the end again and then I'll just try and wick that off. Okay. Yeah. There's actually enough left on there to do the next piece. So look, I'm about 3/4 of the way down there and I'm just working that paint down slowly and gently. Okay, and I've actually managed to get all of that done in one coat for some reason. Probably because I've already got the green down. Remember I said that you might be thinking, why are we putting the green down when we know it's going to be black?
Yeah.
Well, we've basically done our undercoat. Now, to get into that gap is going to be a little bit difficult. But I would just sort of run my brush maybe about 3/4 of the way down, and then I'll paint the top. Have a look to see if 3/4 of the way is further enough. I think it is. There you go. And I've actually managed to get that in one go. It might take you two. Okay. How you feeling about that?
Doing my best.
Good. That's all you can do. Wayne Worley, it's because I'm Welsh, so Athol was taking the Michael a little. He does that a lot, doesn't he? I'm told all about you, Athol. MP Penny, I send you 2 links. One with the program colors for you to see, and another one how to create mini tools. That creating mini tools will be. Are you talking about like scale model tools for the models, like shovels and things for tanks, etc.? And that program of colors, are you talking about? Well, I'll have a look at the links. I know there was a program you did send me, which was I do use quite a bit. Sprue and Glue. Hi, Penny, Natasha, and chat. How are you all, my friend? Hi, Sprue. Hi, Sprue. How you doing? Let's see how well thought of Sprue is. Everyone's just jumping in there. Hi, Sprue. Hi, Sprue. And Sprue is hi, Wayne, Teresa, MP, Athol. Right. Excuse me. So when that is done, and not before, Natasha, and there's no rush, all we have to do now is get the green out again, and we'll do those cushions. And actually, I'm going to have to touch that black out because I missed a bit. It's a good job I don't claim to be awesome at painting, isn't it?
I'm not awesome at it either. I just go with the flow with it.
Yeah. No, I just noticed I missed a bit. Not much, but... Oh, that link of another colour is another program. I look forward to it. So is that on Facebook you sent me that? And then I think we'll call that a day for this show. Because I think, believe it or not, you've actually done a lot. So Athol's popped up. Evening, Manuel and Wacker Sprue. How are you, Athol? So what we've done a little bit differently this time is we've actually worked on 3 stages at once. So we've now begun to think a little bit ahead. And we've just tried to organize ourselves a little better. The only thing that's kind of thrown it a little bit is the fact that we've got to put that decal on. And we can't really put the no, there's nothing wrong with doing the decal, but you need... Did you notice that when we did the tank, when we did all the washing and the painting, we didn't do the decals that week, and
No.
that was done on purpose. We could have just slapped the decals on and done. That's it. We're done. Get on with a new model. But we had to let that paint cure. Do you remember when I said about the glue? The difference between drying and curing. Drying means it's stuck. Curing means it's set hard. When the glue is only dry, you can pull it apart again. When it's cured, it will stay put unless you put a lot of force on. Exactly the same with the paint. Paint is actually a form of plastic. So you put the paint on and it dries, but it's not fully solid. It's solid enough that we can put... So we've been putting layer upon layer on. So we've got 3 layers of paint there, but that's fine. It's because the paint is dry. but we can't do much with it until it's cured. Athol, me, I'm okay. Hamish has gone home to Celia's flat. I'm really sorry. I don't know who Celia and Mary is. Celia's flat. Mary, her mum, is in the shower while I'm clearing up after Hamish was at mine.
I think the Hamish is a dog.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I can't remember if one's his daughter
Okay.
and one's his wife.
Right. What, Hamish or Celia?
Celia.
Sorry, that just came out totally wrong and totally horrible, didn't it?
Right, done it black.
Fantastic. Right, so you ready to do a couple of blobs of green?
I'll give it a go.
Okay. I don't know why you say I'll give it a go, because as you've proven with a tank, a JP, and now this, you do know how to paint.
True.
So it's just the surface area that's differing every time, isn't it?
Yes.
Large areas, you painted small areas. Right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to paint this straight out of the pot. So the areas that we left, we just want to pop a bit of purple. I need to call that purple. A little bit of green, and we're just going to go over. So can you see now we can cover up any black? There is a little bit of blue at the top on mine. That's the black that I've missed. So I'll do a zoom in a minute. But if we don't press too hard, because otherwise when you get to the edge, it's going to flick down. It's going to paint over the black. Oh, too much. Right. So that's what I've done there. It's so small, even with zoom in, you can't. Right. So you see that black bit where I've gone over and I've accidentally caught it on the cushion?
Yeah.
Well, look, when I get my green, just like that, the black is gone.
Cool.
Because that's why we paint the lower areas. And I'm just painting along there. Now, as I say, you're very likely to get some of the green. I don't mean this is putting you down. You might get some of the green onto the black. And then you have a choice. Do I now want to go back over the black areas? Then when you do the black areas, you run the risk of getting black onto the green. And you could theoretically be there all day doing green and black. So you just end up having to get to the point where you go, I accept how it is. Or you get better. But if you've only painted a couple of times, I can't expect you to get it done perfectly. I'm also going to tell you another reason why I'm faster than you. I'm actually not doing it 100% perfect. There you go. That's my little effort.
There's mine.
It's a little bit black, but it looks okay. I mean, black as in it's dark. I don't mean you've painted it all black. But remember what I said before. There's only one question that matters, and that's, are you happy?
Yep.
If you're not happy, it's not good. If you're happy, doesn't matter what anyone else says, it's good. So I'm going to touch this black up that I missed, and then I'm going to call that done for the day. Can't believe I missed all that black right on the very edge of the seat. I mean, by the time we put the cockpit on this, you're going to lose a lot of this detail anyway. But I do like to try and get it done. Right, so because you've got loose parts,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to suggest you put them nice and safe somewhere. If you've got a little bag, that would be perfect. I just happen to have a little plastic box here, so that's an absolutely ideal place to put them. And I'm going to put the whole clear sprue in there. And then what we'll do is next week, whenever our next stream is.
Yep.
I've missed a bit of black there, look.
Just what I'm touching up is a bit of black.
That's how terrible my painting is, guys. Look, I'm missing all of this. Never mind. Right. So, not anything exciting to show for it this week. At least when we did the first one on the tank, we had something tankish to show for it, didn't we?
Yeah.
So this is a little bit slower in that department, but you just have to go with the process. You know, if you were working on this all day, then obviously you'd have a lot more to show for it. But I don't think that's an awful effort today. What do you reckon, guys? But you've done something a little bit different. You haven't painted one color, like you haven't picked out detail before, have you?
No.
So that's something new. You've got a cockpit seat. I actually didn't do my little joystick, so I'll probably do that off camera because you haven't got one to do, have you?
No. It snapped in half.
No, it wasn't the carpet monsters this time. It was the sprue cutter monsters this time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I did think it was.
Carpet didn't eat it.
What was it I did? I did this tomahawk, and I was talking about it on one of the streams, and someone in chat said there was something. I think it was the joystick or something. Did yours snap in half? I went, yeah, it did. And I thought that was, but it's such a small piece, such a thin piece. The pressure of cutting it will snap it in half. Right. Are you happy, Natasha?
Yeah.
Any questions?
Nope.
Ask me anything.
How are you?
Fine. Right. So no, that's not the one, is it? Hamish is a puppy corgi, lovely. Mary is my girlfriend and Celia is her daughter. Okay, I will try to remember that, but I'm terrible. MP says yes in Facebook chat. And then he says, hi, Athol. Right, I'm going to have a quick look on this. Normally I put Facebook on. Do you know how bad I am at technology? I learned today how to use WhatsApp on the PC. Oh, it's a YouTube link. Oh, they're both YouTube links. They're channels. Oh, I've seen something like this. How to make a DIY mini drill. Do you know what? What a coincidence. Moss released a video the other week. It was the Tamiya electric drill. Nice drill, but basically what it was a few bits of plastic on a sprue with a motor, which you cut all the bits off the sprue, put them together, and don't get me wrong, it looked like a good drill, but I think it was something like, if you know how much it was, please correct me, but I think it was about 50 quid. And I just, all the while I was thinking, nice drill, but it's a lot of money to pay for a few bits of plastic, injection molded plastic, and a motor that you could get for 50 pence from Temu. So yeah, making my own drill, fantastic, great idea. Right, are you still happy, Natasha?
Yep, completed as far as I know.
Excellent. So I have started work on my Lancaster with the aim of trying to get it done as cheap as I can. and try and get a better result than the Hachette version. However, I've gone and spent a lot. Well, I've spent a bit of money today, and I'm going to be spending more money. Do you remember that lighting kit I showed everyone the other day? The other week?
Yeah.
I'm ordering that, but there's a few extra little costs involved because I'm getting an instrument panel for it. So let me show you what I'm getting. Right. So it's five items that I've paid for and bought today that will be coming around about the middle of March, and I've kind of categorized them into three categories. Two of them are, I think, necessary. Two of them are probably luxury. MP says, I'm going to rest. See you, Penny and Natasha. Have a good night. Thank you for popping in. So let me bring all of these up on screen. Right. So the first thing I'm getting is, I've got to do screen share. Window share. I'm losing touch on how to do this. Right. So the first thing I'm getting is the Airscale photo etch and decal cockpit upgrade. So it's just going to make the cockpit look so much nicer. So there's going to be a lot of work doing on that. But the engine, the engine noise is a motor, what was it called? Magic scale modeling. They actually have an upgrade, an extra £9, and it comes with a couple of extra light bulbs that sits behind that instrument panel. So that's a must now, isn't it?
Yeah.
The second thing that I think is a must is the masking sheet. That's just gone up in price. Oh, because that's in euros, I bought it in pounds. So I think it was about £15. Now, I could cut bits of masking tape and I could mask all my canopy off, no problems. But for 15 quid, that's going to save me about 3 or 4 hours work. The only trouble with that masking set, it's not going to fit one of the windows properly. Because the Dam Busters one, you have a little bulge to stick onto the windows to just correct the window for the Dam Busters version. The next one that is probably shouldn't I is metal landing gear. I don't know if the plastic landing gear is going to be okay. So I'm buying that. It is a lot of money, 32 quid, but I just think it's going to make the undercarriage a little bit stronger. Just give me a bit more confidence. I've not heard of any problems with the undercarriage, but the next thing, I'm not sure. So the wheels that come with the Lancaster, they're smooth all round. Now, I read somewhere that they were smooth. The reason that if you go down to see a Lancaster, like even a working Lancaster, the reason they have treaded tires is because that's what they make now.
Oh, okay.
Right. The reason they didn't need treaded tires is that those wheels are super big. And the reason they're super big is because many of the airfields were grass. And if it was wet, the wheels would just bog down. So by having bigger wheels, it means it's less chance of the wheels getting stuck in the mud. But the reason I like these, if you just see on the tire wall, it's just got a little bit of detail.
Yeah.
So the question is, they're £12 for wheels that have got a little bit of detail on the side wall. Is it a waste? I don't know. And the last thing, which these are 32 quid, but these are beautiful. These are Browning .303 caliber gun barrels, and look at the detail on those.
Wow.
32 quid. See, this is the trouble with aftermarket parts. You could quite easily spend more money on aftermarket than the actual cost of the model. I haven't done on this one, but I ain't getting far off, you know. The model's 300 quid. I've just spent £110 on these 5 bits of aftermarket. I'm about to spend £200 on a lighting kit, plus the paint and everything. And it's, yeah, but I just love those gun barrels. And gun barrels are external. You know, you're going to see them from the outside. But look at how much detail they add.
Wow.
I just think that's amazing. But that's the beauty of brass, isn't it? So that is my problem, that I can't stop buying extras for it. Phil says I have a bottle of Vallejo liquid mask. You can almost paint it onto the glass between the glazing bars. Very easy to use, especially on curved windows. Yeah, I normally what I do is I cut very thin strips of masking tape, and I mask all around the edges, and then I fill the rest in with masking fluid. I just think the masking sheet that I've got, I've just closed it down, but I think well, let's have a look at history. My orders, there we go. Why is that not loading up? Right, so the masking sheet is £15. I just think for the amount of time it will save me, it's probably worth it. You know, if I was buying like a Tomahawk, you know, the masking sheet is probably 4 bits of masking. There's no way I'm paying money for that when I can use masking tape. But Lancaster's got so many bits of glass. You've got all those side windows in the fuselage. Yeah, I think it's worth buying a masking sheet. And it's got masking for all of the wheels and everything. So, but yeah, it's but I'm hoping to do a really good job on it. So far I've done the seat, which is nowhere near finished. The next stage is to pop some varnish on it. I'm going to have a go at weathering the seat. Very weathered to the point that the middle of the seat is brown where the leather is worn out. And if anyone wants to go, well, Guy Gibson's pilot seat wasn't like that, I'm going to go, guys, this is a museum piece. It's a recreate. I don't know. I might do something like that, but I am weathering the seat. But I don't know whether to see. I'm trying to do it one stage at a time. I've got 130 weeks to do this Lancaster. I'm trying to sort of keep it going with the Harchette. What's quite interesting is I've started with the seat, and now issue 5. Hello. You decided you want to be a movie star again. She's been very, very affectionate today. I got her a new cat carrier today, both of them. It's a little bit executive. It's black and swish, black and grey, and very, very. I could see me wearing a suit carrying this cat carrier, and it would look very much in place. Yeah, I've just seen issue 5 of the Harchette one come out, and it looks okay. There are actually some details on the Harchette that are better detailed than the Hong Kong.
Yeah.
One suggestion that I've seen is that I can actually buy the Harchette magazine, rip some of the parts out, and use them on the Hong Kong one.
Good idea.
But that's another 40 quid I'd have to spend, because the magazines are, well, they're 11 quid each. So I don't know, but I'll have a look at scratch building as well. But yeah, so the next problem is I don't know what stage to do next. I'm frightened to do any more. Those parts that I've just shown you is they're not coming until they've given me an estimated date of about the 12th of March.
Right.
Because some of the items are out of stock and they're going to send all of them together. Hello. Hello, beautiful. You can't have my coffee. And the lighting kit from Magic Scale Modeling, I've got a query with it.
Right.
So it's about the power pack. You can pay extra and have the power comes through magnets in the wheels or something. So I've sent them an email query. So obviously I'm not going to buy because it's like 25 quid difference. So I'm not going to buy it until I know which one I want. Because if you buy it all, buy the whole lot and then think, no, I wanted that version, the only way you're going to get it is to buy the whole lot again. So I can't do any more of the cockpit because I don't know which bits are relying on the lighting kit.
Yeah.
So I can paint the side of the fuselage, but I've got a problem with it. I really don't like the big hole where the wing is. Give me a sec and I'll show you. So this bit I think is absolutely horrible, and I'm showing you down here, but the camera's up there. So it's a camera.
Always the way.
It's this bit there. You see, you've got this nice ribbing detail.
Yeah.
When you get to the wing, there's nothing. Now, what I've seen done on YouTube is he's cut a piece of plastic card out and filled that in. So I think I'm going to do the same. And then what he's done is he's cut some very, very thin strips and he's continued the ribbing down and made his own ribbing. So that I'm going to do. So that could fill in a couple of videos. More stuff to do on the... I am actually probably going to paint the cockpit floor. But so I'll paint all of that. And I could probably glue that on once it's... Because that's not going to need any lighting kit, is it, for a seat? But all the other panels, I don't know if the lighting kit or anything is going to affect it. It says like navigator panels. So I can't do any of this because I don't know if the lighting kit's needed. So I can paint all the inside of the fuselage. The gun turret, that's being completely omitted from the build because that wasn't on the dam busters. But again, I'm waiting for the gun barrels. So I can't do that, can I? Can't do that because that's not dam busters. Can't do the engines because I don't know how the motors are going to... No, please don't. Please don't. Good girl. Yeah, I don't know how the motors are going to go in to control the propellers. So I can't do the engines, can I?
No.
More engine. Now I can't do the wheels because A, I'm replacing the wheels, and B, the power supply might go through. Can't do the wings because I know there's speakers going in. I don't know how the speakers are going in. Then it goes on to more engine. Can't even do the tail planes because there's navigation lights in there. So, badly planned project. But then I don't know if I would have discovered this lighting kit had it not been for buying the model. Normally I research things on YouTube, on ScaleMates and YouTube. And I didn't discover this lighting kit until after I bought the kit. So, and I wouldn't have discovered it had I not bought the kit, because I was doing research at the time. So it's a bit of an odd one. So yeah, my whole build is on hold until that comes. And then what doesn't help is my work schedule. Oh, that reminds me, guys, I've pushed back the Lancaster 1 week. It was meant to start tomorrow, but I've actually pushed it back to next week. That way, it's just going to give me an extra week to play with. So we've got issue -1, which is the introducing the project. Issue 0, which is the, I call it massive. I'm trying to give it amusing titles. I'm trying to stay away, just for this build, I'm trying to stay away from part 1, stage 1, the pilot seat. Because then that enables me to do more than one, do the stage over more than one videos. But also I think it'll just be more amusing. So we've got, can't even find it. So part 01 is called An Introduction to Scale Modeling. No, sorry. Right. Yes. Oh, I've done that wrong. Oh, it's already up. That's why. Yes, we've got the introduction to the project. Part 0 is just called Mega Unboxing. It's my very first attempt at clickbait. I've written in capital letters, Mega Unboxing. Part 1 is just called An Introduction. So the way I've done the video, guys, if there's a new technique, I go through the whole technique. So obviously, episode 1, stage 1, I show cutting the parts off. I show cleaning them, gluing them together, the difference between the 3 glues that I use. And then when I'm painting, I'm showing how to do the primer, how to mix the paints, etc., etc. Then, like in episode 2, I don't need to show you how to cut parts off. So I just go, I clean the parts up. And I kind of expect you to know because you've already watched issue 1. So that does mean my early videos are much longer. I think the Mega Unboxing, get this, it's an hour and 45 minutes for the unboxing. Yeah. Part 1 is an hour and 15 minutes. Part 3 is 25 minutes. So obviously, because I'm not having to show you the techniques. So what I'll do is, now I'm up. I've made videos up to the 8th, up to the 1st of March, and then I've got to make videos for the 8th and the 15th. Then on the 17th of March, I'm away in London for 3 weeks. Wow. So ideally, I need to make 5 videos, 5 parts, which is going to be very hard because I do reaction videos and I need building with the boys to put his video out so that I can react to it. Yeah. So until he gets his parts, so I'm not going to get them done this week, am I? So, and then I've got all these parts coming. So hopefully the lighting kit will come before I come back from London. And then I can just spend 1 episode showing you the lighting kit. So, but I think I'm just going to have to paint the fuselage. I can get an episode or 2 out of filling this in. So yeah, it's just finding the content.
Yeah, true.
But once I've got all these bits, I can just bang them out because it's such a joy to build that I can just get building it, make episode, and then have the videos made up. And then all I've got to do is film the reaction bit when it comes out, which I can do in the hotel. So, yeah. Right. So I think that's going to be the end of the show. We've done nearly 3 hours and I've got to be up tomorrow because I've got someone coming round to help me clean, which means I need to clean my house first. Because I'm
Yeah,
like
I'll be
that.
up at 8 myself.
Oh, but you
Yeah.
see, I'm one of these. I clean before the cleaner comes round. I brush my teeth before I go and see the dentist. I wash my hair before I go to the hairdresser. I
Yeah.
think that was quite normal. So
Well, yeah, because they charge more for it, don't
they every time I go, they wash my hair anyway. My hairdresser doesn't charge extra,
they?
but
No.
if I haven't washed my hair for a couple of days, I just spend so much time apologising. And it's always the same conversation. Oh, I'm ever so sorry. The hair's really dirty. Oh, don't worry about it. It's not the worst I've seen. Every
Yeah,
time.
probably seen worse.
She
But
probably
it's,
has. So Teresa says, but you have only been on 5 minutes, Penny. No, even my time was saying 2 hours and 45 minutes.
yeah, mine saying that.
Do you know what I do miss? It tells me how many people are watching. When I used to use StreamYard, you could put your mouse up and it would split. It would tell you how many's watching on each channel. But that's not a bad show, you know.
14.
14 for my little old channel.
14.
Yeah, well, you can see it because you've got admin privileges now, haven't you?
Yeah.
And I need to see you soon. Right, next streams.
What have I done?
You haven't done anything yet. So next streams, I've been looking at my days off in London. How do you feel about Wednesday coming up?
Yeah, I can do that.
The next Wednesday, which will be Valentine's Day.
Oh, right.
Is that
Day
possible?
before his birthday.
Is it?
Yeah.
That mean I got to buy you more presents?
Oh, no, it's 2 days before, sorry.
Okay.
Get my dates.
Now, my next channel update would be the 25th of February, which is a Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be coming home early because my last shift is a Wednesday.
All right.
Yeah, I've got another long weekend. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off. I
Nice.
think I'm going to be coming home Wednesday night.
Yeah.
So, do you want to do my channel update on the Thursday? Remember last time we did it on the Friday?
Yeah.
I'll do my channel because I'm not going to sit and wait and sit there for 3 or 4 days with all these parcels that I can't if I get any parcels. So we'll swap the channel update and the crafting build. So the Thursday the 22nd will be the unboxing. Hopefully I'll get my lighting kit by then. They've quoted 5 days delivery. So if I order that the week before I'm due to come home, that'll give it a few extra days.
Yeah, definitely.
That'll give me something to work on. Yeah. So that'll give me something to work on. And then, but like I say, hopefully, because when I come back, I'm actually at Kilmarnock for 3 weeks.
All right.
Yeah, I'm on holiday now, and then I do London, then I'm working Scotland for 3 weeks. Then I go back to London for 3 weeks, 1 week's holiday, back to London, 3 weeks work. But I've got unused holiday.
Okay.
So they said to me, I'll put you down for the 11th of March for a week, unless you'd rather sell your holiday back to us and work. And I went, let me think about that one. I'll take the holiday. So when work's offering you holiday, you take it.
Yeah, true. You might as well.
Yeah. So I've actually got 3 weeks holiday in 10 weeks. He's got this week, another 5 weeks, and then 3 weeks after that.
Yeah.
So I don't get it all the time. It's only because it's end of the year. I know there's people up and down the country who've got holidays in March because they haven't been taking them throughout the year. So that used to be a trick we used to use at one company I worked at. We'd say, oh, can I book a holiday in March? And they'd say, no, we don't give holidays in March because there's so many people don't take their holiday, they don't book holiday, that we end up having to give them some time off in March to use up their unused holiday. So I go, all right then, I won't book any holiday then. And then March comes along and they go, Penny, you've got unused holiday, you're going to have a week off in March. And I'm going, why couldn't I have just had that when I asked for it? So, yeah, I had 2 weeks off in March at one company I worked at because I just went, right, I'm not booking any holiday. I'd accrued some holiday for bank holidays, which had carried over. Because if you have bank holidays like in February and March, because it's so close to the end of the year, they allow you to carry them over, but not general holiday. There's a chat message coming. We would love a holiday. We haven't had one in years. Do you know what? I can't remember the last time I had an actual holiday. And now I've got a couple of cats. I don't know when I'll have my next holiday. But to be honest with you, I'm quite happy having the time off. This morning, it's novelty because I've got my bedroom back, but I don't normally have a TV in the bedroom. I can't see the point. But obviously, my lodger had a bedroom TV in the bedroom. I just sat in bed most of the morning watching TV. Caught up on a few episodes of Rookie from about a year ago. Caught up on an episode of 9/11, 911, which is the one about the fire station.
Yeah,
I like that. And one that I haven't seen for a long time, is it Station 19 or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've got about 2 seasons of that to watch. But yeah, to be honest with you, I'm just happy having the time off. I got really frustrated the other day because I ran out of milk and it meant I had to go leave the house and go and buy some. That's how much I love going out of the house. Update for you guys. I know some of you are interested. Cats went to the vet yesterday. Oh, let me show you the cat carrier. It's the executive version. Be back in a sec. It's very posh. So this is it.
Wow.
Oh, we're over there, aren't we? So it's got near all round vision on 3 sides, so we can see what we're doing. I can give him vision on the top, but I think I'll just zip that up. You can do it. You wear it as a backpack.
Yeah.
I don't know what. It's got a nice little soft bit on it. I don't know what this bit is for though. Is it so you can perhaps pull it along the ground? I don't know, but it's quite big. It's not as long as his old cat carrier.
Yeah.
It's about the same width, but it's taller. And he doesn't use all the space anyway. But the reason I got these is because I've lost the front of his. I say lost. Do you want to go in it now? Oh, and also this bit goes right under, which is well. I leave the cat carriers out so that they can play in them, and then that way it's not so stressful when you put them in there and take them to the vets. And but I've got 2 of them now, so I can't find the front of the cat carrier, so I had to say to neighbour, can I borrow yours? Otherwise I'm going to take them in a cardboard box. And the other cat carrier, the vet had said to me, if you ever need a cat carrier, come and see us because we've got loads. Because what might happen, for example, is people are bringing their cats in. It's the end of their life, and they can't bear to take the cat carrier, so they disinfect them and then give them out to other people. So I said to them, I ain't got time to get a cat carrier, and they gave me a little cat carrier, Well, Spirit's growing up now, so I think she's a little tiny bit small for that cat, a little bit big for that cat carrier. So I had to buy one cat carrier. So the place I got it from, they gave me 10% discount. You know, you go on Amazon and they give you the price, and they say tick this box if you want a 10% discount. And I'm like, why didn't you just give us a 10% discount instead of forcing us a box for it? But they had a promotion: buy 2 qualifying items, get 5% discount. So I thought, well, I want 2 cat carriers, so I bought them both, and they look quite sturdy. And again, you can't judge what things look like on a website, but the Amazon's return policy is really good. So I thought if they're no good, I'll send them back. But I like them, so now there's 2 cat carriers going to be donated to the vets. So I think that's fair, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've given me 1, I'll give them 2 back. But I bought the first cat carrier I bought for Shadow when he was a kitten, and it did swamp him. It was like he was, cat carrier's this big and he's taking up this much space. But I thought he would grow into it. But the only thing is he don't like being put in the cat carriers anymore. He sits there trying to scratch his way out, but not anymore because he's just had his claws cut.
True.
So, but yeah, I took him in. He was once he's in. This is how it goes, right? You put them in the cat carriers. She's fine. He's just scrabbling to get out. Once you get out the door, he calms down. Put him in the car. Start driving. Now you've got her going meow, meow. Like it's when you get kids racing, running around, and when they overtake, they go meow. It's exactly what she sounded like all the way to the vets. Get them out of the car, they're fine again. And what I did with the 2 cat carriers, so I do like if they need to take them both down, I put two appointments next to each other so I can bring them in together. So I put them down. They got a radiator in the vet's waiting room. So I plonk them by the radiators, but I put it so that the entrances they can see each other. Good as gold.
Wow.
Got them into the vets. Obviously, they come out no problems, and had their claws trimmed. Got weighed. Spirit's put on weight, which is fantastic. I think she's put on about 0.2 kilos. Not a lot, but it's been about a month since she's been weighed. I would have thought she'd be putting on more weight. I feed her so much, licky licks and that. But the vet's really happy with her. Feel her rib cage. She says she's ideal weight. Shadow, who's still putting on weight despite the fact he's on a diet, she weighed him, and I said before he got weighed, I said, listen, I've got to the point where I know he's overweight, but at least if I can have a weigh in and he hasn't gained any weight, but he's still overweight, I'll take that. I'd rather he was a little bit overweight and not losing than keeps putting on weight. She weighed him and she said he's 0.5 kilo lighter than about a month and a half ago. So, but he has started playing more. And he has been playing a lot this week. I think he's definitely happier when someone's in the house, but he's happy enough when when I'm away. But he definitely prefers me to be home. Are you going to get in it then? I think he knows it's a cat carrier.
Yeah.
He's having a sniff, but he's not going in. So then when I started to put him in the cat carrier, I said, watch this. I said, I do struggle to get them in. I opened the door on Spirit's cat carrier. She walked straight in.
Wow.
Yeah. Shadow couldn't get him in. It was horrible. We actually literally had to push him in. One's pushing him in, one's doing the zip up the top. It was, I felt horrible doing it, but come on then.
Had to be done.
But yeah, it's the only way I was getting him home. So, but yeah, they're good as gold. They're all right. And like I say, I slept in my bed last night. they both enjoyed being in the bedroom. So, and then he come and sat with me. And of course, they got their sofa back now as well, haven't they?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Are they
of
scratching at it yet?
no, they don't scratch at it. They do like sleeping on it. But obviously they sleep on the sofa a lot. But when
Yeah.
I come home, I pull the sofa out. It's my bed, so they don't get to sit on the sofa when I'm home. So yeah, she's been on the sofa most of the day, more than happy. And get your nose out of my pancake, mister.
Mm.
Yes. Oh, she's in the hallway now. You're going to come and join us? Come on. He's laying down, so he's just laying there. Bless him. But you see how he looks huge. See if I can. Hopefully, I've got the webcam. Zoom that. Yeah, that big ass, fat bum, aren't you? See if I can. Look at the size of him. Look at his little legs and his big bum. He's got to the point. There is no flattering view on him.
No.
The only flattering view is his face. So
I call Gandalf fatty because he's big.
Yeah, he's telling me off. Like, he doesn't like his belly. He'll let me stroke his chest all day long, but touch his belly, he don't like it. Do you? Oh yeah, you're putting up with it. But he's fine with his chest. He'll let me touch his chest all day long, but touch his belly. Yeah, let's see. He's not at that. See,
No.
you're happy with the chest, aren't you? He's doing the biscuits now. We can't see his feet, but yeah. Oh, look at you with your beautiful blunt claws. They look so nice with a little flat. Look at this. Give me your paw. Oh, we missed that one. Nice and flat. Oh, you can't see them, but nice flat ends. Yeah, I also, because I did them. Well, I did the front. She did the back. That one's a good one. Is Dew Claw.
Yeah, they don't mostly like that one touched, do they?
Well, he's got lovely claws because they're clear. They're absolutely crystal clear, and you can see the pink vein.
Yeah.
Clear as daylight. So she said it doesn't matter if you don't cut them short enough, just don't cut them too short. So like I look for the pink vein and I'll trim about there. Her back claws are black, and her front claws are even clearer than his.
Wow.
Absolutely interesting, but because I looked at them, they're black, but you can see a little white line where the vein is.
Yeah.
So, Penny, Caitlin missed your Concorde when you showed it earlier. She was on her way overhead. Are you trying to say you want to see my Concorde again? He's just trying to bring the stream out longer. Right, give me a second. I'll go get it. Right, you can look after my Concorde, mister. Don't move, will you? Sorry, I'm going to steal the...
All right, go for it.
So it's not finished, but there's the base, and it's absolutely amazing. It's actually holding the Concorde in that position, so it looks like it's coming into land. If you pull this bit off, I think it's funny. I just think it's hilarious. So there you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 seats and 2 toilets. I just thought that was brilliant. I thought you were supposed to see all the mechanisms. Apparently, it's supposed to have a cargo hold or something, but unless that is supposed to come up now. And then the undercarriage is, ignore the orange bits, that's not meant to be there. And then the mechanisms. So when it's done, there'll be a bit on the tail and you twist all of that. But for now, you just got that post. But yeah, the way the mechanism works, and this wheel spins, so you can actually play with it. You can put it on the
Cool.
table and go, Concorde Flight BA 171 coming in. Yes, you are cleared to go to Terminal 3. And you can actually play with it if you so wish to do so. But I'm just going to pose it on the stand, wheels down like that. We'll have the nose down and keep it simple. So bear with me a sec, guys. So yeah, I am extra careful with that because the last thing I would want to do is break that before I finish building it.
Yeah.
Has anyone seen that? I don't know if it's a TikTok clip or if it's gone on YouTube Shorts or whatever, but some kid with it, some fantastic Lego creation. I can't remember what it is. He was running through the hallway. He slips over, but as he slips over, he ends up slamming this Lego, and it just goes. Psh.
I would cry.
Well, it's not really meant to laugh at that, but isn't it funny?
True.
Are you a really cute boy today? Or are you telling me it's bedtime?
Probably.
I think it's bedtime. So, yeah, so that's me caught up. It's absolutely no point me doing channel updates, is it? Because I do a channel update every time I have a stream.
Yeah.
My gauntlet came out today, which was a nice little build. And RoboCop returns on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see Concorde on Sunday.
Cool.
I'm bringing it out. Yeah, so RoboCop returns on Monday, and it's actually going to have a double episode on the 4th of March. So I'm going to be doing 4 stages in 3 videos.
Right.
But from Monday, I'm splitting the time between ET and RoboCop. So you'll get RoboCop one week, you get ET the next week. Hopefully I've done it right. But ET issue 1 comes out on the 12th of March. Then the next video is 2 weeks after. So I should have the next videos in by then. As I said before, Warhammer, that's not coming out until at least I get back to the hotel because I'm a bit behind. Sorry, Caitlin says, that's amazing, Penny. You're such a big kid like me. I love it. Yeah,
I like being a big kid.
Yeah. Eddie Stobart. The next 2 videos of Eddie Stobart are going to be doubles, and then there are no more double. Or is there? Ah, sorry. So what had happened when I did issue 119? I wanted to do 119 and 120, but 119, I think it was the stage I was at. It was just 119 was a nicer place to finish. So February the 28th is a triple episode. And then from there on in, it is 1 episode per week. And I am worried because the next 2, 3, the next magazine should be here for when I get back. But I think the next episode, next videos, next magazines will be here just as I go to London. And oh,
What was that?
there? I rolled my chair. It clicked on something, and I felt something on my foot, like it broke a bit of plastic off and it shot across.
Yeah.
You know, like the carpet monster regurgitating your piece.
Oh, they love it. They're probably in the Hoover and in the bin now.
Yeah.
They were that tiny, I weren't going to find it. I bet when I move and move.
I wish I could show you this. Do you know what? Probably use the other camera. Oh, just went off on the stream.
You're still there.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get this. Don't want him to move because he is in such a cute position. Just laid on the corner of my desk, look.
He's happy there.
Yeah. This is my cat for you. He don't want much. So I try and make sure he gets as much. Oh, sorry, did I just disturb you now? He's not happy now. I just disturbed him. But yeah, he's just flaked out. Anyone would think he's had a really busy day, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The way
it's hard life being a cat.
Well, you know, it's really hard work doing all that sleeping all day, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, if he doesn't get his 15 naps in the day, he won't have the energy for his big sleep at night.
Nope.
That's his life. And then he hassles me for breakfast and he doesn't even eat it. And then he just interrupts me while I'm trying to do my models.
Yep.
And then he just comes over. It's my show, but he takes over. He's the star. And that's what it's like being number 2 in the house, isn't it? Good boy, aren't you? He's actually started purring again.
That's good.
I know. Well, I don't know. Do they purr because they're happy?
Yeah.
Or do they purr because they're not well?
No, they purr because they're happy.
Purring is like a regeneration thing, isn't it? So yeah, anyway, that's me. So there is a possibility that the Eddie Stobart could end up missing a week because I've got a bit keen and eager. But do you know it's nearly finished?
Wow.
It's almost finished. The last issue should be released 22nd of May. There's 140 issues, and I'm about 5 or 6 weeks behind. No, 29th of May. And then my last video should be the 3rd of July. And have a guess what I'm doing when Stobart finishes.
A plane. Big, huge plane.
No, well, I'm doing a big, huge plane anyway. So I have decided that Wednesday is going to be taken over by wooden models.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to do the wooden bus. I think it's 1:24 scale, might be 1:30 something, but the only trouble is I've got that in Airfix as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't want to be running the same model twice in 2 different things. Then after that, I've had my eye on that stagecoach for donkey's years, and I really want that. And that's all the shape and the wood model type stuff. So that one I'd like to do. If I can still get it, they do the Sopworth camel. That I'd like to do. And then there's another one, the tram. They do the London tram. They do lots of trams, but the London one is the one that's caught my eye.
Yeah.
And then I thought after that, I mean, there's probably about a year's worth of work there at least, minimum. But after that, I thought I'll do a ship. I did the ship before the Hermione, and unfortunately that was left behind at the storage unit, so that got disposed of.
Yeah.
But I'd like to do another ship. So I thought, and if you go on to, I can never remember the name of the place because it's Spanish. Is it Artisan Latina? Something like that. But you can go onto their site and you can pick. Do you know, I'm gonna just hide my bottom half. That's better. Not that there's anything wrong with my bottom half. I've got clothing on. Yeah, so you can go onto their site. You can pick what subject matter you want, and then you can select expert, intermediate, beginner. Let's have a look. Let me show you. Screen, entire screen. Is it that one I want? No, it's that one.
I'm just going to get a coffee, Penny.
Yeah, no problems. That show on screen. I forget that I'll work it out because you know what Google are like. If you don't quite spell it correctly, Artisan Latina. There we go. Right, so we've got various aircraft. There's the Sopwith Camel. This used to be available at Model Space, but obviously Model Space's version was split down into parts, and you'd have paid a lot more than $279. They also did the is that the one? Yeah, the Fokker DR1. The only thing I don't quite like about it is all of this framework. I'd like it all covered, but they're two 1/16th aircraft, so they're not little, and I thought they'd look good together. And I did not know they had a BF 109, so that could be fun. That's photo etch and metal, so that might be something interesting to do one day. So yeah, that one I didn't know about until just then. But yeah, their ships. Where are they gone? So what I like about their ships is, there you go. So you've got a couple of initiation ones. There's nothing amazingly exciting, but they're good introductions to the ship world. So that Viking ship, it's got a little bit of rigging involved, and it's only 60 quid. So I thought that would be a really good 1/75 scale wooden model of this Viking ship. Enjoy the Viking model building kit and get started on this wonderful hobby if you are a beginner or if you're an expert. Once it is assembled, this model ship measures 12 inches. It's not massive, but another one that I like the look of, this one. No, not that one. There we go. That one. Cross section of the Victory. I thought that looked rather nice. And it's something a little bit unusual, isn't it? And on the video, I don't know if they've got any pictures of it here. You got, I can't remember if it comes with the figures, but on the actual video, you see the guy making it. There we go. And he just, get away. He displays it. It comes with a case and everything. And you see it displayed on it. There we are. Doesn't that look nice displayed there? I thought that looked rather nice. So, yeah, that might be one of my first ships that I do. So I have just planned about 14 years worth of Wednesday videos. And I think it's kind of part work, part model then, isn't it? So yeah. Oh, it's available, a gift pack. What's the gift pack? Oh, right. So the gift pack is the model paints, the urn, they call it an urn, LED and micro riveting tool, 350 quid. I think that's still a decent price compared to the price of part works. I think that's a very reasonable price. Right, guys, so I am now going to finish the show as soon as Natasha comes back, or I could just say my goodbye, and then when Natasha comes back, we force her into finishing the show because she don't like doing that. So, can I hear her? I bet she's checking on the birdies, isn't she? Come on, you. Oh, so I've just seen my notifications. That's Sneaky. Yeah, that's my middle name, isn't it, Sneaky? Just seen a couple of videos on my notifications. Phil's model making uploaded. My next modeling project, a literal blitz build. That looks interesting. They do show a thumbnail, but I can't see the thumbnail so well, so I can't see what it is. And Carl Scale Modeling has done a channel intro. So that one I'm looking forward to watching. How are you, mister? You still chilling? Yeah, there's no modeling for me tonight. So, right, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be a bit naughty and I'm going to finish the show without her. So, guys, we are returning on... When are we returning? It will be Wednesday, the 7th of February, which is 6 days from now. I've got all my days worked out from London, so I know I'll have a day off. So that'll be me back in the hotel. So obviously I'm going to have to take this Tomahawk with me to London because I ain't buying another one. Not at, well, I say not at that price. It was full price, this one. Right, so yeah, so we're back on Wednesday the 7th and again on the 14th, and then again on the 22nd I will be home from London, and again on the 25th. From 25th to the 16th of March, I don't know, because they don't give me a lot of notice for my days off when I'm in Scotland. Excuse me. So those want to be played by ear a little bit more, but yeah. So thank you to the 9 people that are still watching and all the people that have been watching the show throughout the night. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you, if I don't see you before, I will see you on Wednesday. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.